What is up, everybody? Welcome in to the 2026 NFL Draft. Packers Draft Party Extravaganza, whatever the heck you want to call it. It is draft night. It is a super exciting time. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous day in Green Bay, Wisconsin today, by the way. We've had like 73, 78 degree weather, which April 23rd, it would have been gorgeous if this was the way it was in Green Bay last year, but it was still amazing last year. Temperatures and weather and everything turned out great, but yeah, gorgeous day in Green Bay today. No Packers pick today. Thank you. We get half of Micah Parsons today. We get the other half in next year's draft. Kenny Clark, a little piece of that as well. But it's a little easier already knowing that Micah Parsons is a Green Bay Packer. Of course, wishes ACL was 100%, completely intact and not injured. But that's a totally different story. Still do that trade 100 times out of 100. It does feel a little bit today like almost like a bye week in football, where we've got football, we've got tons to talk about. You're maybe getting together with some friends or maybe virtually with some friends. And, you can kind of see and just hope that and watch, Minnesota and Chicago and Detroit hopefully screw some stuff up, and you have no stakes in the game today. Tomorrow will be different. Saturday will be different. It'll feel like a lot of stakes because you got to get those second and third round picks right, especially when you don't have a first round pick. So tomorrow might be a little bit more stressful, but today we just get to sit back, enjoy, watch the draft. Again, like I said, hope the Bears and Vikings and Lions do stupid stuff and just get to enjoy the drama of a beautiful, wonderful, glorious NFL draft. Thank you guys for being here. We are presented today by Luiges Frozen Pizzas. Huge thank you and shout out to Luiges for sponsoring the show. Make sure to check them out at luigespizza.com and on social media at Luiges Pizza. I've already got the pepperoni pizza, the original, the traditional, the delicious Luiges Frozen Pizza in the freezer already for post-draft. As soon as the draft is over, that thing is going right in the oven, and we are going to celebrate a successful 2026 NFL draft season. Of course, it doesn't stop there. I'll be breaking down all the picks after they are done through the next couple weeks, doing deep dives and everything. But I'll be doing it after a Luiges Frozen Pizza on Sunday. So again, huge shout out to them. They're absolutely amazing to work with. Make sure you're supporting them as well. Again, luigespizza.com and at Luiges Pizza on social media. I'll be obviously going through the draft picks as they come in. We've still got, 27 minutes until that gets started. Going to try to keep an eye on everything that's happening throughout the course of the day. When picks come in, we are going to be discussing them. This happens every year where we usually talk about like, hey, let's not, tip the picks. And then like 5 minutes in, everyone's like, just talk about the picks and everything like that. So when I see them, when we find it out, when it gets in there, we're going to start talking about it. I've got NFL Network on to the side. Great to see Rich Eisen there. I think he's an ESPN guy, but he can work for NFL Network because everything's merged together now because we live in a bizarro world. But yeah, got NFL Network on the side. Got the phone next to me. We've got all the draft stuff, all my notes, just put up the big board over on PackerReport.com. And of course, throughout the course of the show, we'll be going over all your questions. I'll try to get to as much as I can. You may need to ask some things a couple times if I don't get to it right away. I'm not going to just necessarily be going in order, but there'll be times throughout the show that I have the opportunity to answer stuff. If you want to make sure your question gets in, make sure to get those super chats in, and we'll get to all super chats through the course of today's show. And if we need to stay after, we will certainly do that as well. Most hated Chicagoan, thank you for being here. Thank you for the super chat. We hope the Dolphins do well so we can get a third. Them doing well has not much to do with it. Malik doing well has a lot to do with it. And more importantly, Malik playing, how he plays and, how much he plays is involved in that third round comp pick. The Dolphins doing well, they can go 0-17 and it doesn't affect us all that much. But we want Malik to play and we want him to get a lot of snaps. That's what we're hoping for there. Time for my April excitement before the inevitable crash out in January. Such is the life cycle of a NFL fan. This is the beautiful time of year, right along with free agency, where hope springs eternal. And we get to have open these presents this weekend and see what Goody bought us, and if we're excited about it. If not, then we get to mini camps and OTAs. Training camp will be here before you know it. And then there's the inevitable ebbs and flows of an NFL season. But right now, we just get to enjoy. And like I said, today feels like a bye week because Packers have no stakes today. There's next to 0.0% chance that they get back into round one today. So you can sit back and relax and not have to worry about anything because your Green Bay Packers are just going to be chilling at 1265 and seeing how the draft board shakes up after round one is done tonight. Augie, thank you so much for becoming a brand new Pack a Day Podcast YouTube member, as well as Ryan, A Convenient Truth, Matt, and Ray. Make sure to check out those memberships. And if you haven't hit the like button and subscribed yet, make sure to do that as well. I have heard that Ben Johnson eats Jack's Pizza. It's a sad state of affairs. It's really pathetic. And I'm just happy that, we are Luiges Pizzas here. Pizza people, I should say. All right. We hope Malik balls out and plays all year, but throws takes 5 interceptions and takes 10 sacks when we play them. Well, I don't know if we need that much. We shouldn't need that much help to beat the Dolphins. Fingers crossed. Was I late? I was late by like 30 seconds. Not much. Not too bad. I was actually trying to fix. It was just a little bit like you couldn't see the Packers thing on my shirt, so I had to fix the lighting a little bit, which was why I was about 30 seconds late. Test out that like button. Just make sure it's working for me. I appreciate that. What is more likely, going into the season with Ritter and McCord both staying in Green Bay, or with both of them? Well, for sure, both of them gone. I think that's much more likely. That quarterback position could still go in a variety of different directions. I would say, hopefully they get a better backup. And if they get a better backup, then there's no guarantee. You could easily have a situation where they get a better backup and they sign it. Like they could sign a UDFA, this weekend, and then release, one of them, and then actually sign a legitimate backup. And then the other one just gets cut during training camp or something. So there's a lot of different ways that would go. So I say it's more likely that both are gone than that both of them are here. You could have Ritter be the backup and McCord be on the practice squad. They certainly won't both be on the 53. I think that would be the most surprising, but you can have a situation in which one of them is actually on the roster and then the other is on the practice squad. You could end up having that. Look who it is. Justice freaking Mosscada. Justice, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Can you hear me all right?
We got you loud and clear.
Sweet.
How you feeling?
Honestly, pretty relaxed, for day one of the draft. Yeah, I mean, it's usually I'm scrambling. I'm trying to call people. I'm trying to figure out who's going to be available, all that stuff. This year, I haven't cared at all, honestly. People are like, oh, there's this surge of Jeremiah Love. We're seeing Arvell Reese odds go up for pick number 2. And I was like, I haven't really put any thought into how the beginning of the draft is going to go. I haven't really cared.
Yeah, this is me too, just because I think it's just going to be enjoyable. And we, like I said, it's like a bye week. We can just sit back and enjoy. Hope the Vikings, Lions, and Bears do stupid stuff and not have to worry about anything till tomorrow.
Lions trade up for Proctor, who Saban is killing me. I think I'm going to be watching Saban because Saban just tells the truth, right?
Like Saban, Proctor.
Saban was like, look, Proctor will do anything for you when he's in the building. As soon as he leaves the building, he's just gaining weight every second. And then he ripped Ty Simpson too. He was like, yeah, he's really immature. I don't know what to tell you. Like, that's not good. I want old, immature guy who couldn't beat out Jalen Milroe.
Not great. Not a great sign. Let's Vikings. That'd be a great Vikings pick today. Vikings, you got to get on this. You can't trust Kyler Murray past the season. Number 9's not going to do anything. So
Ty Simpson, Lions trade 3 first-round picks to move up for Proctor. Yeah, let's do it.
I'm all in. Get all the Alabama folks. Clay Hortz, go Pack. What's your top 3 guesses of who the Packers pick? I know you have been very accurate in the past. Do you have a top 3, Justice, and if you're predicting?
Christian Miller, Zion Young. Stuck on this one. I guess Lee Hunter, because he came in on a visit.
Yeah, that's a fair one. And today I just did it in like different buckets. So I think if they trade up, it'll be Christian Miller. I think if they stay and he's there, I think maybe Brandon Cisse, Gabe Akis or Zion Young certainly could be in that conversation. And then I think their fallback, the mystery one to me is the potential is Deshaun Stribling. That would be like the sleeper pick.
That makes sense. Stribling is receiver that early would be interesting. It really would.
Well, let me ask you this, because I did this exercise for today's show, but like let's say Terrell, Cisse, and obviously like Hood, Johnson, like all the like second round corners are basically gone. Maybe Igbinosin, some people have in that category, but let's say for the most part, like the second round corners are gone. and let's say Hunter, McDonald, and Kristen Miller are gone, like then it gets like super interesting of like, all right, what like if you could go edge, but if Zion Young could easily be gone there, it could be. Let me ask you about
but like everyone's gone. How? That's my thing. It's like everyone's got. I mean, go guard. Go. I mean, at that point, like Pregnon and Rutledge are on the board, right?
Yep.
Unless they're gone too, and then I'm like, I don't. Is Iheanacho still out there? Like everyone can't be gone.
Everyone can't be gone. No, that's a fair point. Do you think they'd be in on Akis?
Yeah, I mean, he's
3-4 as well as 4-3. I thought he was a little bit more of a 4-3 guy, but I think he can also do 3-4.
I don't think that stuff's that important, to be totally honest with you. I think they're just going to send him anyway. Especially like Matt's talked, like even Matt when he's talked about like 3-4 stuff, and people brought up like pressures, like when Joe Barry was the defensive coordinator, and Matt was like, we don't really consider that a blitz when we're sending 5 and it's a 3-4, right? Because it's a 5-man front. You're just sending the guys at the line of scrimmage and stuff. So, no, I'd probably go. Yeah, I mean, I'd be looking edge. I'd be looking at the guys that we kind of hit on. I mean, I like our Mason Thomas too, and then guard, I guess, would be the other pivot.
Yeah. So my official was trade up Miller, stay either Cisse or Akis, and then sleeper is Stribling if like all things go crazy.
I'm not as big on Cisse as other people.
We can have that conversation too. He's not my favorite. I'm more predicting than wanting in that situation. Just like what they could potentially do. It's fine. I've watched him a little bit more just because I've had like the feeling of like, okay, he might actually be there and he could potentially be the guy. And he has grown on me a little bit, but it's certainly not my like top 5 wish list of what I'm hoping is going to happen at that spot.
I wonder if at some point he ends up getting moved to safety.
Wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, because that's just kind of how. I mean, he's not huge, right? He's not the most blazing speed guy, but like he kind of is physical, even though he's rough around the edges. I kind of think it makes sense.
All right, Yoshi wants to know, who would you both love to draft at 52, but don't think the Packers will?
A guy the Packers wouldn't take
that you would love.
So my mind immediately goes to off-field guys, which I'm not really that type of dude. Guys who don't fit their measurables, which are usually bad bets, to be honest, or injury guys. So Caleb Banks is my my answer, unless for some reason Jamon McCoy ends up being there with the 52nd overall pick. Yeah, I mean, 2 banged up dudes.
Those are probably the 2 best answers. The other ones I would just say are like positions they don't need. So like I love Keontae Scott. I don't think there's any need to go get Keontae Scott.
Yeah, and I think you could probably move him outside a little bit too. I mean, Stukes is another guy who's really good.
That was my other answer too.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like other positions. I mean, safety's really the one that we don't need, right? We could take everything else. So
I have a question for you. They brought in some of those like kind of like tweener safety corner guys and like some guys like that. Most of them were like late round guys or whatever. Let's say they took, one of those guys, whether it be Stukes or, one of those sort of like slot players, right? Do you think that they can run enough dime to make it like, what would your reaction be like if they took one of those slot players of like, can they actually find a way to make that work and run it enough to make it like that? They're actually looking at something like that.
Gannon was last in the NFL in nickel last year.
He ran a ton of dime.
And he had that's the area of his game where he has actually fluctuated on a year-to-year basis. Like last year, they ran a ton of base, they ran a ton of dime. They didn't run hardly any nickel. There'd been other years where they, live out of nickel and stuff like that. So yeah, I could totally see them running a ton of dime. You're gonna have to stop the run on first down to be able to get in those looks, but I could totally see it. I mean, they already have 3 safeties, so if you give them another one, I mean, what else are you going to do? I mean,
exactly.
The thing about that is we start having conversations about Mike linebacker and dime linebacker and things like that, right? And like, does that put Edgerrin Cooper on the bench? which again is, I think, one of the bigger question marks moving forward is in these penny sets, in these dime sets where you only have one off-ball linebacker. If Zaire Franklin is the Mike and he's the green dot, you're not taking him off the field. So that means Cooper's going to the bench. Right?
That's why I continue to petition Xavier McKinney for the green dot. That's my petition.
It's
so we can keep Edgerrin on the field no matter what. That's my goal. More likely they trade up or trade down from 52. I think it's more likely they trade. You think down? I think up.
Really? I think down. I think they want more picks.
I think they want more picks. I just felt like when I was in the press conference the other day, it felt like Goody was already getting itchy thinking about 51 guys coming off the board before he was picking. He's like, I'm gonna have to try really hard to not, to just stay and pick and whatever. He's a good actor. He's a good liar from time to time, but it just felt like he was already like, oh my God, I can't, I need to pick.
No, there's going to be someone there at 52. Stay there or trade back. That's my thought.
Is it anybody besides like a Kristen Miller that you would consider trading up for, or would you even consider trading up for Kristen Miller? Like, what's that?
I would trade up for Ian Achwer. Depending on how much it costs me, but I don't want to trade up. I don't think there's enough value at the beginning of the second round.
I think there's enough value in this draft. I think that's probably an overarching feel.
I want more swings in the third and fourth. That's where I think it is.
It's where the sweet spot is for sure. Dumb hypothetical, my absolute favorites. Dank Burrito. I love dumb hypotheticals. An obvious first round pick falls to the second. Goo trades up to 35. Who do you think the pick would be?
You're not sure. We had him in on a visit, and he's really good. And
that's probably a good answer. He's a very.
I don't know what he does in 2026. I really don't.
He's a weird one too, in that he's like just a tackle. I don't think he has the guard versatility. No. And so I don't think I don't know that you want to move him to left, and I don't think you want to do the whole Morgan song and dance again.
Yeah.
I would have some concern of like, oh, is there something actually wrong with Zach Tom if that happened? But yeah, that's probably the right answer. If somebody fell and they moved up, it's probably something like that.
Or like McCoy, Banks, like it would have to, like an injury guy. I think all of them would be kind of like long-term plans.
What about
all the other guys are like ranked where they
Keldrick Falk, maybe like an edge player, something like that. If he got to like 34, maybe. 35,
I wouldn't be too happy with it, but
I'm not a Falk guy either, as I mentioned the other day, but yeah, I could see them liking him. All right, Steve, thank you for the super chat. There's a kid out of Navy that would have been a late round flyer with amazing upside, listed as a fullback. But oh yeah, we know him very well. Heidenreich, listed as a fullback with more of a tight end wide receiver, maybe H-back. We'd love to see how Matt could use him. Random Packer, George Cumby. I don't know. Is that a random Packer that you're talking about that also went to Navy? But no, Heidenreich is, I'm sure, the player that you're describing. And I don't know how you feel about him, Justice, but he's a fun watch.
Yeah, no, he's fun. The defensive tackle is fun too. He's going to get actual nose tackle or defensive tackle looks at the NFL, and then also fullback looks. His name is Landon Robinson. I don't think we've gotten official. I mean, I'm sure teams have. I haven't checked in on it. The official word on whether these guys are going to be able to delay their service or not. That's something that has changed from administration to administration. So
yep.
I'm sure that's probably a factor for these guys. I should actually probably know that.
Solomon Lopez becoming a brand new member and gifting 5 Pack-A-Day memberships. Appreciate you, Solomon. And then Ben says random Packer is Nagler thing. Got it. Was not aware of the random Packer lore. My apologies. Oh, all right. What do we got? You trade up for Chris Johnson. If Chris Johnson falls to 44, Packers should trade up for him before Green Bay South gets him. You a Johnson guy?
Not really.
No?
I think there could be better players there at 52. I'd take Orange over him. I'd take DDS over him. I think he's fine. He's going to be a really good number 2 in this league to me. There are guys like Dalen Everett, Igbinosa, and Malik Muhammad. Like, even if you want to do this stuff with Keontae Scott and like potentially convert him from inside to outside, Devin Moore, like, I don't think there's that big of a gap between Chris Johnson and those other guys. But people have certainly talked themselves into it. They like it.
I like Chris Johnson. I wouldn't hate it, but I do think that you're probably looking at a strong number 2 corner. I don't think he's going to be like a shutdown number 1 or anything. Did you see Tucker Kraft get ripped?
got rid. Oh, I saw with the cutoff.
Yeah, looking swole.
Yeah, and the buzzed head. I think I might go buzzed head in honor of him pretty soon. I'm getting tired of my hair, so.
No, you got to let the hair free, man. You got a lot of comments the other day when you went hatless, and it was all positive.
I saw.
It was all positive.
One guy asked if I just woke up. No, but that is what my hair looks like when I wake up.
We are 9 minutes away till the kickoff of the draft. Folk will be a product of where he goes. Pile of clay, but could be elite.
Yeah, I think that's like fair. 20 years old. I mean, that's
super young.
People can't stop talking about is his age, which is always this guy is an idea.
Yeah, he's very, very raw still. Prospects that are 20 years old on draft day: Jeremiah Love, Francis Mauinoa, Caden Proctor, Connor Liu, Arvell Reese, Jermod McCoy, and Brandon Cease. 20-year-old prospects on draft day. Connor Liu's the interesting one, probably the only one. Well, I guess Cease probably goes round 2. We'll see where McCoy ends up. I'm interested to see what happens with McCoy. I think he's a top 10 guy if he's healthy.
Oh, for sure. It's, I talk to scouts who think that like on field, he's better than Delane, which I disagree with. I like Delane, but I understand the conversation. Yeah, I mean, there's no, if it's not McCoy because of the health, which seems like that's going to be the case, right? I think everyone at this point is projecting a Will Johnson type of situation where he falls to like the mid-second or something like that now. There's not like a corner, like a strong corner 2 in this class. At that point, you're talking about Hood, you're talking about Chris Johnson. These are guys who may or may not go in the first round. And a not strong first round.
It's not a strong first round. I mean, most teams have already said they've got like 12 to 15 first round grades in this particular draft. I think after those first 12 to 15, I think that's where the draft gets, well, it's fun to see like if anyone tries to get up in that 12, 15 range and what maneuvering there is there to get some of those guys.
Troy, and then you got to go get Proctor, man. You got to send 3 first for Proctor.
Get up as far as you can. But yeah, and then I think it's going to be really interesting because I think from like 17 to like 40, the difference in opinion could be all over the place, which is awesome.
Yeah. Like when people start saying like, hey, Keelan Rutledge can sneak into the back end of the first round. I'm like, sure, why not? Yeah. Sounds fine. Like Emmanuel Pregnon. And I'm like, okay, yep, for sure.
Yeah, because they're all second round guy. Like starting at like pick 15, 16, it's like second round grades till like probably like pick 45, 50, 52, whatever.
Yeah. I think where you'll see the pinch is the offensive line. I think you'll see the offensive line run, and then maybe teams positioning themselves in the offensive line run because there aren't that many tackles in this entire draft class, as we kind of talked about. Like the fall off is pretty steep. I think we're going to see the top guys go probably positioning for that offensive line run, and then it's like, round 1.5 has started now, right? Somewhere around like pick 20 or something like that. So, and
then I think Iheanacho and Lomu are going to be the last 2, and then it's going to be a massive fall off from there. Like we've talked about, like Austin Barber, one of those guys, probably in like round 3 might be like the next guy, depending on what people think of like Tiernan or whatever. Like he could potentially go. He might be a guard. He might be a tackle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Did you watch him?
Did you get the ground over?
Yeah. He's a ride.
It's a roller coaster, dog.
It's a very big roller coaster.
He's like Savian, right? Who's another guy in this draft class who's like super boomer? Oh, Banks. We talked about Caleb Banks.
We talked about, yeah.
Like, yeah, man. So Crownover was a basketball kid who played tight end in high school, got recruited to all the big schools to play tight end or to play tackle. He ended up going to A&M because they let him play tight end his first year, and then they converted him to offensive line. So he's only been playing offensive line for like 2 or 3 years, and he's only been playing football for so long, right?
He looks like a basketball player playing football. I mean, a big basketball player, a big freaking basketball player. He looks like a basketball player playing football.
I mean, there's times where the first thing that's hitting his block and target is the crown of his helmet, man. But there's other times where he's just dirt napping a guy.
For sure.
He's probably got the same potential as Iheanacho, but the runway is he's
a lot longer,
a lot further behind Iheanacho in this race in terms of the converts to offensive tackle.
Did you get to take a look at the mystery quarterback, Kyron Drones, at all?
Yeah, I've actually seen a decent amount of them. So I'm mad that I didn't say this before. Galco told me that we like him at the Shrine game.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. And I never mentioned it. Because I didn't really think too much about it. I kind of thought that, the mystery UDFA was going to be like Gronowski or something like that. Or mystery quarterback visit was going to be like Gronowski. I think Drones would be a true UDFA. I don't think we got to spend a draft pick.
It could be a Micah Robinson situation where like Micah Robinson was like what 700th something on the consensus big board, and they took him at the end of the 7th just to make it easy and that they don't have to try to recruit him against other teams. But it's either the very last 7th round pick where they're just trying to get ahead of it, or a UDFA. Yeah,
and it's weird because we don't really it's pretty hard to split reps with 4 quarterbacks in a draft. But yeah, I mean, he's an athletic guy. I mean, Virginia Tech has kind of been a mess. Another thing that we should keep in mind, we have their defensive coordinator on the roster, the linebackers coach.
Good point.
So we have pretty good intel on how this kid works. And I believe Drones was one of the guys who was coached by Mannion at the Shrine also.
Okay.
If memory
that makes sense
correctly. Yeah, I mean, I think as a UDFA quarterback, camp guy, he'll probably end up in the UFO at some point, just being totally honest.
I think they're going to sign him, though. I think he'll be a UDFA for them.
Quarterbacks cost a decent amount of money, and we got 3. I mean, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how they split those reps up, especially if we're team hashtag we're turning it all down this offseason, how you split those reps up between 4 quarterbacks.
True. I could easily see them maybe getting rid of one of them or something too, but we'll see. We'll see what they do. Dank Burrito again. Do you think Goot will safeguard all of his 27 picks this draft since next year's class is expected to be much better?
Guys, when people talk about draft classes, they're talking about the top of the draft class. That's why you hear like, oh, this linebacker class is really good. It's because Arvell Reese and Sonny Styles are in it, right? People say, hey, this cornerback class isn't any good because all you have is Delane at the top of it, and then McCoy's got the injury concerns. I don't agree with that. I've been telling Andy this whole time, I think the deepest position in this entire class is cornerback, right? So when people are talking about, the 27 picks and stuff like that, I don't really think they're talking about like the pick 1 through 256 or whatever it is. I think people are just talking about the top of the draft, and they're talking about the fact that there's a lot of quarterbacks who are getting a lot of hype right now. So as far as the Packers are concerned, who do not have a first round pick in next year's draft, I don't think it matters that much, to be totally honest.
And they should have a ton of capital with the Rashawn Gary trade, the Wicks trade, 4 compensatory picks. I know they don't have a first, they don't have a 6 because of the trade with Philly. But
we get a 6 back. We got a 6 back, right? Yeah.
For Wicks. Yeah.
So we get, we're on pick watch for that 6 pick, because I think it's like a weird conditional where it's like we get the highest one of their 6 because Howie owns like 3 6-round picks that year.
Fantastic. Love that. All right. Shane, I hope we leave the draft with at least 2 linemen on offense. Who's the dream picks and what position picks? I want some help for Jordan this year. So Shane, you're wondering, I'm assuming what offensive lineman you'd like to see us take? Justice, you want to go first?
Yeah, early on, I really like Keelan Rutledge and Emmanuel Pregnon. Obviously, that would probably have to be pick number 52. Later on, I like Sam Hetch, the center out of Kansas State. I think there's enough in him that he can play guard. I know he's a little bit of a smaller guy, but he is pretty sturdy. I really like Jalen Farmer, the guard out of Kentucky. He might be somewhere 3rd, 4th round is where I'm expecting him to kind of go. He was a transfer out of Florida. He's a people mover, big body. Austin Barber's a guy that I've talked about a lot on this. I think he's the last starting caliber tackle who will come off the board in this draft. Because I think you're going to get to that Lomu, Ian Notchor, Blake Miller range. And then after that, I think it's Austin Barber and then a bunch of projects, to be totally honest with you. So I think Barber would probably be like 2nd, 3rd round. He might go a little bit lower than that. It seems like teams are kind of split. And left tackle is weird because there's not a lot of need. We saw that we kind of talked about that in free agency and stuff. I think a little later, once the fourth round comes around, Andy, I'm gonna start, elbowing you and being like, Crownover really is talented, though. Like, I know he's not ready, but he really does have some talent in him.
Yeah, if you would tell me fifth, I would say okay. Fourth, I'm just like, I don't think he's there in the fifth, but yeah, fourth is just a little rich. But I get it. You just don't make. There's a point in the draft where or just in general, where it's like they don't make many human beings like that, and he's in that conversation. So you take it and you figure out.
Yeah, look, nothing has been, and look, might be in poor taste, but I will say, nothing has helped my the draft ends after 5 rounds agenda more than Mike Vrabel being like, hey, I'm just gonna skip Saturday if that's cool with you guys.
Yeah, that whole thing is a trip. It's a trip. I have varying amounts of thoughts that we will maybe save for another day. But feel for the families of both that are affected by it that had nothing to do with it. I'll just put it that way. One other name I'll put in there is Trey Zune III. He's a Packers E-type where tackle moving into center, maybe guard a little bit too, could have some versatility. Brian Parker, we've talked about, potentially could have some versatility. I don't love him, but could be a Packers E-type player. I like, heck's his name? I can't remember. The Iowa guard, actually, not the main one. Bo Stevens. I don't know if you had a chance to watch Bo Stevens, but
yeah, he's solid.
Yeah, he's solid. Just going to be a solid guard. Nothing crazy, nothing sexy, nothing spectacular, but just solid. Yeah. Those are some names that they're out there too.
Cage Casey, a guy I never got to see. He played at Clackamas, which was like right around the corner from me when I was coaching and stuff. I have buddies who coached them and things like that. So when Cage Casey gets drafted, the tackle from Boise State, we're going to be happy in the group chat. Again, I haven't even seen the kid.
Love it. Mr. Munchie. Mr. Munchie said, Merry Drafts Day. I'd like to see the pack find another coon. He was fun to watch. Well, you're going to see him in the draft. He's announcing a pick, I think, on day 2 or 3. So he's from the Pittsburgh area, and I think he was a Steeler originally, correct? If I remember correctly.
I believe so, yeah. And he played at like Shippensburg, right?
Yep, Shippensburg.
Should be in the area.
Yeah, so he's got the ties there.
Not many fullbacks, man. I think Chris Brooks is our coon right now, to be totally honest with you.
Yeah, we don't even have that like H-back fullback type either. So
no, Wiley's a pass catcher. I mean, he's really he's a DeGuara more than anything else.
I think I had some super chats come in here. Andy and Justice, happy Micah Parsons Day. Thank you, David. Appreciate that. Why have the Packs struggled to find good kickers? Well, they didn't need one for a really long time. And then, it's one of those positions that when you have one, you feel good. And when you don't, it just is brutal.
I don't think anyone knows what they're doing with kickers, Andy. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I wrote an article about it earlier this offseason. There's only 3 teams that have kicking coaches in the entire NFL, and 2 of them are Harbaugh's. I don't think we know what works. The hashes are different in college football. The ball is different in college football.
I wouldn't be stunned if McManus went out and had an awesome year. Like it wouldn't stun me if he went out and had a terrible year. Like it just
he had a good year in 24.
The volatility at that position. Go like everyone is like for the most part, I think like happy with the overall Mason Crosby experience. Go year by year, and there's like 4 or 5 years.
There was ups and downs. There was ups and downs.
Yeah,
there were times where it looked like his ass was going to get cut,
big time.
And they stuck it out with him.
They did for mostly better, but sometimes worse. And it just is the life in the NFL. And you can hit like a rough patch really quick, and things go sour really quick, and then just as easily you can like pick up a kicker who it was like, look at Robbie Gould. Robbie Gould had that stretch with the Bears where like he couldn't make anything. They finally let him go. Goes to San Francisco, and he's like amazing again for like 5-6 more years. Yeah. It's just it's.
I don't think anyone knows anything about kickers, dog. I'm serious about that.
People talk about like, well, would you give like a 2nd round pick for Brandon Aubrey? Like, if I felt like this was a position that you just had consistency on, and like once you found somebody, like it was like just if he was like continuing to be automatic, sure, I would very much do that. But I would have no faith that they don't trade a second round pick for Brandon Aubrey, give him $10 million a year, and then he goes like 60% this year. I would have no faith in it.
They're finicky. Them in corners. It's them in
volatile,
corners.
Completely volatile. Matt Freilich, you're the best, my friend. Thank you for gifting 5-pack-a-day memberships. Good to see you. Hope your draft night is going well.
Great follow on Twitter.
I got launched in the group chat today because I've never seen the movie Draft Day.
So I was dating a chick at the time, and she made me go see it because she was like, "You're doing draft stuff." I haven't seen it. It's a real bad movie. I didn't want to see it in the first place.
Camille said
like the only Kevin Costner movie I've seen, so like that's how I know Kevin Costner, and that always throws people off.
Camille was trying to convince me to do a live watch along. Matt said he's going to expose me on Twitter because I've never seen it. Dusty said it's
not a good movie. It's genuine.
That's
like
what most people are saying.
Legit, like 2 stars at most.
Dusty said it sucks so bad, although pancake eating mother effer is a bar, and I cannot deny that. I don't know that line, but I assume that's great. So yeah, I was getting dragged a little bit, but I said I kind of wear as a badge of pride that I've never actually seen the movie, so I don't plan on changing that.
You don't need to.
Dwight, thank you for becoming a new member. Appreciate you, my friend. Yeah, now you can't expose me anymore, Matt. I put it out there. That's the best way to get through it. You know, don't deny. The denial is always the worst case. Look at recent events in the NFL. Just come out and come clean, and it's going to be a lot easier for you. Jeff, I'm not answering that question. Happy draft, everyone. We made it. Raiders are on the clock. I wonder what this is going to be. Did you get to watch any or any Mendoza? Did you care? I'm assuming you didn't.
I've been watching Mendoza all year.
That's fair.
Been enjoying watching Indiana football all season. As soon as they steamrolled through my Ducks, I was like, that team is going to win the national championship. And I bet them the whole way. I love the ESPN talking heads being like, you know, the Alabama first round game, them being like, there's no way they're going to lose to the talent of Indiana. I'm like, I don't think you guys realize how talented this Hoosiers team is. And the Raiders are making the right pick. I know some people wanted them to like trade down and stuff. I think they're doing the right thing, and they're being rational for the first time in a long time. They go for a lot of quick solves. They try to get Pete Carroll in to kind of give him a shot in the arm and like, no, we're competing now. It's not about the future. And now they're like, no, we're not even going to play the first overall pick. We're going to sign Kirk Cousins. We're going to have Kubiak in the building, build the offensive structure around him. We already have Gene T. We have Bowers, right? Like, I think you got to hand it to them. You know, as far as a team that was bad enough to get the first overall pick, I think they've been doing the right things.
Yeah, I think that's totally fair. And I think, again, getting Cousins is sort of a mentor there. I think they've done getting the center.
An adult in the room, man.
Yep.
Like, there's so many times, like guys like Kaiser, where they talk about it after their career, and they're just like, dude, if I just had like someone who knew what it was like to be an NFL quarterback in that quarterback room when I got there, things would have been a lot different because my head is spinning, and then the media gets to you, and then your confidence is shot, and then you're done. You're done.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. Celestial Prophets. Will Jordan get a Super Bowl win in the next 3 years?
Hope so.
Hope so. Hope so.
Hope so. Hopefully next 2.
Hopefully all 3. Give me all 3. I want all 3. I'm greedy. Raiders on the clock, 4:51 left. While we're waiting, Justice, I'm going to let you do this. You get to pick my prize picks for me here. Today's show is presented by PrizePicks. So I don't know if you can see it. We've got some NBA picks. I picked one earlier today, but I'll let you do it. We've got James Harden more than 17.5 points. Josh Hart more than 17.5 points in rebounds. Jalen Johnson. We've got on here Cam Johnson more than 2.5 made.
Give me the CJ McCollum over. Give me the CJ McCollum over.
More than. We're doing more than.
More than.
CJ McCollum more than. And then we need one more. Brunson. We got
Brunson. Let's go Brunson.
More or less than 27.5 points.
More.
All right, we got more. We got Brunson more than 27.5 points, and we've got McCollum more than 25.5 points. We are going to submit. We're going to do a $5 lineup to win 13. Submit is simple as that, more or less. Pick your favorite players, pick your favorite picks. Multipliers have changed. That's okay. There we go. Lineup successfully submitted. We're going to win huge money. And Justice, I'm going to owe it all to you. Again, available in most states. You can use code HMA to get $50 on your first $5 lineup. Again, super simple to do. Head out there, PrizePicks.com, using code HMA. Make sure to follow me too at Andy Herman NFL. And again, it's as simple as that, more or less on your favorite players, and you can get submitted as well. All right.
Andy, I have a question for you.
Let's do it.
When's the last time you watched the draft with the sound on, like day one of the draft? I just realized I think it's 2020 for me, because it was after I got laid off by XFL, and it was the Jordan Love draft. And I only know that because Addy has a video of me reacting to the pick because my jaw hits the ground.
So 2020, I was on the Cheesehead TV stream. I remember that. So they wouldn't have been that one. And I've been doing streams for a while now. It's been a while. I know that much. Yeah. Actually, the funny thing is I went to Vegas for the Vegas draft. And so I went there. It's just like a spectator. I didn't cover the draft on that weekend because I wanted to go and actually see it in Vegas. My friend was going and things like that. So I did that one and I regretted it. So first of all, I felt I had so much fear of missing out. Like everything was going on and I was just in Vegas and like a crowd of people. And I'm like, and listen, it was awesome having it in Green Bay last year, but it is not a spectator sport. It is so much better to be like in front of the TV or like on a live stream like this.
It is.
Yeah.
Did they give you little radios and stuff? So I went to one, but it was in 2012. So it was obviously very different, right? It was in Radio State. They had like little earpieces that you could listen into because you couldn't even like really hear what was happening on the stage or anything. It'd just be like every once in a while, a guy walks out and is like, hey, this is happening. And self-service back then was pretty terrible too. So you get backlogged and you're like, what?
Fernando Mendoza, officially the pick. The pick is in. But no, honestly, I ended up staying in the crowd for like 5 minutes. Maybe it was a little bit longer than that, but I remember like by the time like the picks were already getting announced the day one, they had some awful band playing in Vegas. And then like it was already up to like, what was that? Like the Sauce Gardner draft, or maybe it was, I think it was that, or I forget which draft it was, where Stingley was there for sure in that one. And like, it was already like, I already knew it on my phone, like 3 picks in advance already. And I'm like just sitting in a crowd of like thousands of people. And so we went to like the blackjack table and like watched it on TV and I updated the phone and we ended up doing that instead. It was a big mistake. I wish I didn't do it, but yeah, this is the last time I wasn't doing a live stream. I know that much. Carlo Delgado with 10 Pack-A-Day memberships. Thank you so much, Carlo. Appreciate you a ton. And happy draft day, Andy and Justice. Right back at you. Thank you to the almost now 700 people who are in chat joining us for the live stream. We have 1 pick in for Fernando Mendoza as expected to the Raiders. This is the
bracket's busted. My bracket's busted.
Did you do the Ben Solak?
Didn't see it coming.
Did you do the Ben Solak entry?
What did Solak do?
So
I don't care about mock drafts this year. We don't have first round pick. I'm liberated.
He has a fun game. He does every year. So you have to enter as many picks as you can get for the players that'll go in the first round. But if you get 1 player wrong, you're eliminated. So if you you could put like 25 players that you think you know for sure. And if all of your 25 get selected in the first round, as long as nobody beats you, like if somebody has 26, then you lose. So you can decide if you want to submit like 10, you could submit 28, you could submit 32. But if you have 1 wrong pick on your board, you lose. And the person who gets the most picks right without having 1 wrong is the winner.
All right. Behind baseball here. He kind of stole our idea. So Solak's in a group chat with us.
Oh, no.
That's been going on for like, probably more than a decade at this point. Well, it's a little different of a game, but usually what we play is 32 names, try to get as many first rounders as possible. Whoever wins, gets a hypothetical pool. No one would actually put money on this thing. That would be illegal. So I guess it's it's basically that, but you hit 1 wrong one, you're done. You're done for. I guess is the way he adjusted it.
Yeah. So if you hit 1 wrong one, you're done. So I think I submitted one with 27. I was mad at myself because I submitted it and then realized I didn't I didn't have any way to track what I submitted, so I didn't like write it down. So I don't remember like what I selected.
I'll say you just were in a G sheet, but yeah, I guess if Solak tweets something out, you can't trust people to not edit other people's numbers and stuff like that.
Yeah, so it is what it is. I should have wrote it down, but I didn't. Matthew, I think we did that one, but yeah, happy draft day to myself and Justice. Going back to Indiana just for a moment, really cool that so many of those guys played for James Madison and then came over to Indiana and were still so freaking successful, which was awesome.
And then James Madison reloaded too. I mean, they made it to the playoffs. Shout out to them, man. I mean, they're doing it right. I mean, I was going to say they're doing it right, but then you can go look into their student fees and stuff like that and how much of it goes to athletics. And you're like, oh my God, they're upcharging these kids like crazy for basically have an ACC team or ACC team playing in the Sun Belt.
Hey, got to do what you got to do. It's 4th and 20. You need a touchdown to win. You have Moss receiver on one side and Rice on the other. Woodson and Revis in coverage. Who are you throwing to? Who's Woodson on and who's Revis on?
Don't care. It's 20. I need 20 yards.
Yeah, I'm throwing
it up. I'm throwing it up to 84. Yep.
Yeah. There's no question. Yeah.
I'm throwing it up to 84 with all due respect to Jerry Rice. And I'm not even one of these people who are like, Jerry Rice played against plumbers and stuff like that. Like, you guys are ridiculous. Go watch Jerry Rice's highlights.
Daryl, hell of a job, my friend. Hell of a job.
You nailed it, dog. You nailed it.
You're on the stream next year, Daryl. Next year, you got it. You're 1 for 1. Retire now. This is where the draft gets a little interesting. You think this is Reese or Bailey yet, too?
I have no clue. I haven't asked.
What would you do? What would you do?
I wouldn't take Bailey this early.
Okay.
I'd take Reese or Downs.
Downs, wow.
Downs. He's a good football player. I know we like to pretend. Value? Yeah. Yeah. Dog, I can't believe that we're getting to the point where it's like, yeah, Caleb Downs is going to go 10th, but like Thieneman is going to go 12th. And I'm like, I've seen those guys on the same field before. It's not close.
Here we got the Jets pick. David Bailey. David Bailey is the pick to the Jets.
The prediction markets were wrong.
Look at that.
Prediction markets and gamblers were wrong.
Because the whole situation in New York was they had a top 30 set up with David Bailey and then they canceled it. They met with Reese, then had a top with Bailey and canceled it. And then they're like, well, don't read into it. But everyone read into it, of course. It is interesting that if you're going to take, like, there's no subterfuge. You have the first pick in the draft by all, realistic
the draft
purposes.
Starts with you because
everyone knows Mendoza is going 1. So you don't need to trick anybody into anything. I don't know what they were doing, but whatever.
I feel bad for McShay because didn't McShay like flip-flop like 10 times on this?
Yes. Did you see the thread of like, all I'm hearing is that it's Reese. All I'm hearing that it's Reese. That's all I'm hearing. It's Bailey. It's definitely Bailey. I hear today that it's definitely Bailey. Then it's Reese. Then it's Bailey.
I think he landed on Reese, which is tough. So you're wrong on the flip-flop. Tough scene.
Yeah. I mean, he flip-flopped a lot. So I don't know that even if he got it right, if it would have looked good, but that definitely looks worse. That's for sure. I do like Bailey. I think he's going to be good for them. They've remade that defense in a pretty damn significant way this offseason. I don't know that what they're going to be able to do with it, with that offense and how they're set up, but that defense is going to be good or should be good.
Is this going to impact the Packers?
Ooh, I like when your mind's thinking this way. You want to trade back for Enigbare?
No, I'm just saying. So they have Osai, they have Will McDonald, they have Kingsley, they have David Bailey. I mean, maybe Kingsley drops. I would have to look at the comp picks. I wouldn't worry about it too much. I mean, at most it would be a 6th turning into a 7th, but just them going edge rusher. Just playing time incentives.
Fine with that because it was 10 million, right? I think they'll be fine getting a 6 still.
Yeah,
maybe I'm wrong.
They probably should be. So here's the big one: are they really going to take a running back here at 3?
Oh, so I don't care about positional value with Caleb Downs, but now you care about positional value with Jeremiah Love.
Okay, look, if you were a good football team that needed a running back, great, go for it.
Yep.
when you're a team whose starting quarterback is Jacoby Brissett and he's holding out, and your backup option is Gardner Minshew, and you're like, nah, man, we're going to take a running back 3rd overall, you start to lose me.
Yeah. Well, look at what happened with the Raiders. Like, they got Genty and they had nothing to surround it. Yeah. He had no offensive line, no quarterback, and Ashton Genty doesn't do you a whole hell of a lot of good if you have nothing to surround it. So from that aspect, I totally agree with what you're saying. I think they want to trade out. I think so many of these teams want to trade down, and I don't know that they're going to find partners.
Yeah. Who wants to trade up? Who cares? I mean, there's been a lot of buzz about KC and Dallas, right? I don't know how much of that is warranted. Again, I'm not really on the mock draft beat this year.
The one thing I would say is if some team like loved Arvell Reese, like he might be good enough to be like, go and get him.
Well, I think that's one of the guys that we're talking about, like moving up, 100%. Like Bain, maybe Downs. I think those are the guys that people are trying to move up for. But
you think Ty goes tonight? He's in the audience.
Maybe late, dude. I'm not a Ty Simpson guy though. I mean, I just don't know who the team is. I know there's been a lot of buzz about Arizona lately. I kind of find it hard to believe that they're like, Jacoby is our starter. We're going to pay Gardner Minshew, and then we're also going to draft Ty Simpson.
It is the Cardinals.
I don't know.
You never know. Teams like this.
I want to be clear. I think LaFleur is pre-fired, and I think Saleh is pre-fired. Both of those guys will be looking for new jobs by 2029. I can't see it going right in Arizona and Tennessee.
That's a tough gig for Mike LaFleur. If you're Mike LaFleur, I think you just have to take it. Like you probably might ever get a chance like this again. So
he probably tripled his salary, and it's fully guaranteed.
That's a good point too. I'm just saying, like, if it were like a Ben Johnson type candidate, you're never taking that job, right? Like, even if you were doubling your salary or something, because you're going to
get like Campanelli like pulled out. Yeah. They had a bunch of guys pull out. Like, people did not want that job. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got his work cut out for him. That's for sure.
Who's the other one? There are 2 ugly ducklings in this cycle. I can't remember who it was. It was Arizona and someone else.
Cleveland.
Yes. Cleveland was the other one where it was just like, dude, who really wants a check?
All right, we're tipping this pick if you want to mute or get mad at me, but we've got it tipped. The pick is in. It's going to be in shortly on the TV. We did get the running back here in Arizona. No trade. Jeremiah Love is a Arizona Cardinal. It's a little rich for a team that, like you said, doesn't have a whole heck of a lot else going for it.
What's their offensive line look like?
What are they doing at running back, by the way? If any team wants a running back, you can probably call Arizona, because I think they have like 4 of them now, don't they?
Yeah, Trey Benson, James Conner, Algier. They just got Algier.
Yeah, they signed Algier. They just re-sign James Conner. At least he's under contract still. So. And Trey Benson was a 3rd-round pick in 2024, and now they've got the 3rd overall pick in the draft. And
I'm not liking this offensive line, folks. Can't lie to you.
You don't love the Paris Johnson, Isaac Somalu, Froholt, Isaiah Adams, Elijah Wilkinson line?
No.
Yeah, it's not like they were in a position to take the best offensive lineman in the draft, though, if they wanted it.
Shout out to Elijah Wilkinson.
He's
been terrible since he was in Denver. And that was 2017.
Yep.
Good for him, man. Good for him.
We're going to be talking about...
If you're big and you could just like punch a clock, like you could stay around in the NFL for a while.
We're going to be talking about Crownover in the same way in about 10 years, being like, look at that. Demetrius Crownover's starting for the Cardinals. Good for him. He got drafted in 2026 and still.
I think Crownover is like he's either in the league for 13 years or he's in the league for 2.
Oh, look at that. Look at you. MLF gets J Love. Well done, sir. Well done. J Loves for both LaFleur brothers. You love to see it.
How far behind am I from anyone? Because I'm seeing like Goodell on the stage right now announcing the pick.
Yeah, I tipped the pick. Sorry, I saw it on.
No,
Twitter.
I just don't know how far behind I am from everyone else.
Oh, no, he's getting hugs on the stage right now.
All right, sweet.
Cool. Or behind the stage, I should say. So I think you're fine.
Sweet.
So yeah, Jeremiah Love goes 3. We've got 3 picks in. I think it's gonna cruise tonight with the 8-minute thing too. By the way, I think it's gonna go very fast. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I feel like we wait like this. You think it's what?
It's better. Because all the East Coast will stop complaining.
That's fair. That's fair. I just feel like we wait all this time for all this drama. Like I'm going to be on the live stream anyway. Keep the picks, spread it out a little bit. I'm good with that. I just don't need orangutans making picks and, picks from the space station and things like that. I'm on NFL Network, by the way. It doesn't really matter what I'm on. I can't hear it anyway. So it doesn't really matter
ABC right now.
Okay. It's on like 6 channels now.
Yeah. All owned by the mouse.
I don't love that Jeremiah Love is in the NFC, but I guess if he's going to be on a team, Arizona is not a bad one to be on from a Packers standpoint. All right, Titans up next, pick 4. There was going
to take an edge.
There's the buzz today that they are not going to take Sonny Styles. Could be a trade down team if they wanted Love and he's not there though. No.
I mean, they're starting edge rushers right now. We've talked about this before, right? That defense works. You have to get pressure up front. You have Jeffrey Simmons and John Franklin Myers on the inside. That's a good start. That we like that. Those work. But then you have Olu Oladejo and Jermaine Johnson on the edges.
That's less than ideal.
I think this is when you pivot and you go, hey, how about I go get Arvell Reese?
It would make sense. Can you imagine if the Giants get Arvell Reese after taking Abdul Carter a year ago? They already have Brian Burns.
They've said that they're not going to trade Kayvon.
And they have Burns too.
Yeah.
But this is a team that won a Super Bowl with Strahan, Kiwanuka, Umanyoria, and Justin Tuck. So they figured it out in the past. Obviously not the same same organizational people that are there, but yeah.
I'm going to stick through this pick and then I'm going to hop out.
Yep, you bet, man. No worries at all. I would have no interest in James Conner. I don't know if you would have any different thoughts on that.
I don't think he really brings anything to the room that we don't have.
Agreed.
Cool story, though. I mean,
yeah. Would you rather have the best offensive lineman in a draft or the best defensive lineman? I always find it curious how teams don't draft O-line high when they clearly need it.
Individually, I think defensive linemen make more of an impact. I think offensive line is more of a sort of like a weak link type of situation, especially in pass protection. That's mostly what I'm talking about. I think run game wise, offensive linemen on an individual basis matter a lot more. But from a pass protection standpoint, I think it's the sum of the parts rather than the individual. So I think I would go D lineman instead of O lineman.
Okay. That's a fair take. Jay Love is good at football. There's 3 now, right? Julian Love, Jeremiah Love, Jordan Love. We've got 3 Jay Loves in the NFL.
There might be more coming, right? Jordan's having a kid. We already got dibs on him at U of O, so because his wife.
Yeah, true. Wow. All right, I won't tip this one, but this one's an interesting one. I won't say it until it's out there this time, but it's an interesting one.
Mike Vrabel. They're taking Mike Vrabel back. That's crazy.
That'd be interesting.
The Patriots are trading up to 4 and they're drafting some dignity. Some damn dignity. You drag this out for 10 days before the draft? These teams.
Pick is in for Tennessee. Did they announce it? No, they didn't. Okay, they're going to commercial. This. They can't go to commercial. Okay, they're not. I guess I thought for a second they were going to commercial. I'm like, the pick is in. What are you doing? That's a Packers on the clock thing.
Yeah, see that bothers me more than anything else. Is the going to commercial and then you're scrolling your Twitter feed and you start seeing stuff and things like that. Like that bothers me way more than the picks, being shortened or anything.
Yeah.
The draft, at least you should be able to do the little cutout thing. So it's not just like a little ticker going at the bottom where you're watching a Taco Bell commercial when Luka Doncic gets selected.
Pittsburgh looks great, by the way. I'm going there for the first time coming up this summer to go to a Brewers Pirates game. I'm looking forward to that. Actually, 2 Brewers Pirates games.
Hell yeah.
Looking forward to seeing the city. I've never been.
The people I know who live in Pittsburgh love Pittsburgh. But I also can't trust them. But they're also like, we have no ambition to go anywhere other than Pittsburgh. Like, we have everything here.
We got one for you here, Justice. Go Blazers.
Go Blazers. Dundon's a cheapo.
All right, pick is in. Finally get it up on the stage after knowing it for about a good 3 minutes. Carnell Tate, Ohio State. So they did go to Ohio State, but not on defense. Justice, you seem perplexed.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really like Tate that much.
It's an aggressive move. This is going to get...
There is. I mean, I guess it's go get your offense some help type thing, but...
What do the Titans look like right now? On you have the rookie quarterback last year, but the second-year quarterback in Ward. It's going
to be him, Wandale, and then Calvin Ridley and Minor are going to be fighting for that third spot, I guess.
Yeah, I guess Chimere DK is there too. He crushed it as a kick returner, but didn't do a ton as a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Wandale, Ridley, and Tate is a good trio for a young quarterback. Probably need an upgrade from Tony Pollard one of these days too, but they didn't obviously get the chance to take the running back if they wanted him. Thanks to the 900 people in chat. We are 1 hour in. Appreciate you guys. All right, buddy, you got to take off.
Yep. I'm going to head out. APC, we're going to have a bunch of wrap-up stuff after the first round. We're going to have like best available. We'll do all the mock draft, combing and seeing what people have in store for us on day 2. I think we're going to open up the fuel lines too, Andy, and let the fans talk to us and say and plant their flag and say, here's who I would have taken at number 20 if it wasn't Micah Parsons. So we're going to have that post up. If you guys want to go check it out at APC, we're going to be busy the next couple of days. So
I'll have to do that when pick 20 comes up to do the same thing and say who I would have taken there. I'll plant my flag as well, but I like that a lot. Giants pick is in. I won't tip that one either, but Justice, enjoy the rest of your night. You're welcome back at any time tonight, tomorrow, Saturday. If you ever get bored, feel free, like I said, to come and go as you please. But if not, enjoy the rest of your draft, my friend.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you folks. I know you guys support us and stuff year round. Come help APC if you want to come chat and stuff. Going to be busy the next couple days. So I don't know how many times you guys are going to see my face.
We'll definitely do so. Follow him, JUMOSQ. See you, Justice. Appreciate Justice as always. Go check him out over at acmepackingcompany.com, social media at JUMOSQ. Tate is the pick to the Titans. The first real surprising one that I don't think much had, surprised there, or had selected there, I should say. But yeah, that was an interesting one. The pick is in at 5 already too. I don't know. I can tip it if you guys want, or I can not tip it. Just let me know in chat what you want me to do. But the pick is in. At 5, Giants have selected. And the Browns, I will say this, I will tip this. It's not really a tip. The Browns have traded pick 6 to the Kansas City Chiefs. So Giants pick is in. The Browns have traded us. All right, everyone wants me to tell. Arvell Reese is a New York Giant. Arvell Reese is a New York Giant at pick 5. So they did go Arvell Reese and Abdullah Carter in back-to-back years. And again, the Chiefs are now on the clock at pick 6. Kayvon Thibodeau is expected to be a top trade candidate per Ari Merov. Again, Chiefs are on the clock. Don't know what the trade is as of yet. But Browns moved down. What pick did Chiefs had the... What pick did the Chiefs have? 9th. They had the 9th pick. So they go from 9 to 6 to move up 3 spots. We'll see what they gave up for that. We'll see what they want to select here. But Chiefs are officially on the clock. Browns move down 3 spots to number 9. Keep you posted on what we get for the trades. I mean, literally, if you're wanting to know how I get picked so early, I literally just have notifications set up on my phone. So all the insiders... Browns are sending the 6th overall pick to the Chiefs in exchange for the 9th overall pick, a 3rd round pick, 74th overall, and a 5th round pick, 148 overall. So not honestly that much to get up those few spots. It's only a 3rd and a 5th, which usually it would cost more than that to get from 9 to 6. So a 3rd and a 5th to get up 3 spots from 9 to 6. That is the trade there. But anyway, I just literally have all the insiders that I have notifications set up on. So anytime new anything happens, I'm getting notifications on my phone. So I can see it pretty much right away as soon as something happens. You would think offensive lineman for the Chiefs, they get the best, they get the choice of their tackle. What else? What else could they be looking at here? So Reese is gone. I don't think it's going to be for Caleb Downs, but you know, crazier things have happened. I don't think it's going to be for Sonny Styles, but he would certainly fit that defense very well. They can get the corner of their choice. So if they were worried about, they lost both of their corners. So Mansour Delane could be theoretically possible. There was some buzz that, Ruben Bain was a player that teams were looking to move up for. It also, I don't think it's this, but if they really liked Jordan Tyson, now with Tate gone at 5, they could have, or at 4, they could have got a little itchy and moved up for him as well. So I do think there are some options here. I actually don't know because there hasn't been an offensive line taken unless they absolutely loved one of them. I don't know that it would be for a offensive lineman. By the way, let's just talk for a second about the New York Giants, because I do think that is a team worth monitoring right now. That is going to be a Brian Burns, Abdullah Carter, Arvell Reese. Thankfully they don't have Dexter Lawrence anymore, but that is going to be a very, very talented front. That's going to be a problem to deal with. We'll see what ultimately becomes of Jackson Dart. Cam Scadaboo is their running back. Like, they obviously looked good at moments last year. Malik Neighbors will come back from injury. They've got some pieces. Their offensive line needs some work. Got Isaiah Likely. They have a seemingly competent head coach. Mansour Delane is the pick for KC. So they got their corner that they wanted. So after losing 2 corners, after losing McDuffie and after losing Watson this offseason, Mansour Delane is the pick at pick number 6. Just for kicks and giggles. So far, Fernando Mendoza was 1 on my board. He went 1. David Bailey was 3 on my board. He went 2. Then Love went 3. He was number 2 on my board. Number 4 was Carnell Tate. He was number 7 on my board. Number 5 was Arvell Reese. He was 4 on my board. And then Delane was 9 on my board. He goes 7. So no like crazy reaches for anything off of my board yet. We'll see where things kind of go from here. But interesting that the Chiefs felt like they needed to move up to get the corner. So they jumped. Who did they jump? They jumped Washington and New Orleans. Washington could have taken a corner. I don't think it was super likely. Maybe New Orleans would have been looking at corner. Maybe New Orleans would have been looking. Or maybe they were just worried that some other team was going to move up. That could always be the case too. Yeah, New Orleans, they've got Kool-Aid McKinstry, Isaac Yiadom, and Quincy Riley. Yeah, New Orleans needed a corner pretty damn bad. So yeah, I could easily see that maybe they were worried about the Saints drafting him. So they get their corner. All right. Any realistic players I would trade 52 for? Not off the top of my head. Delarose, I'd have to think on that a little bit. Not anybody that's on like the trade block right now. I'll just put it that way. So yeah, I would say not off the top of my head. Jade Heath with 20 Pack-A-Day memberships. Jade, thank you so much for that. That is absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. Green Bay had a top 5 pick. Who would you have wanted? All right. So we'll just say that they picked at 5 in this scenario. So Tate, Love, and Bailey would have been off the board. Who would I have wanted for Green Bay? Either I would have just gone with Arvell Reese. I think he would have been too talented at that point. Delane I would have considered just because they need corner so bad. But give me Arvell Reese opposite Micah Parsons. I'll sign up for that. And he's a unique piece that you can use in a variety of different ways. So I would have taken Reese at number 5 if Green Bay had the 5th pick. Kool-Aid's been okay. Not great, not terrible. He's been okay. What else can we do to support membership, support chats? What else? Being here is awesome. I mean, you can sign up for a membership. Just hit that subscribe button is huge. Honestly, just subscribing, watching is always enough. But yeah, if you want to check out those memberships, you can do so. That's a really cool way to support the channel. You get access to videos as soon as they're out, get the members only Q&A. And it's really just kind of pay what you want. There's a pretty cheap option for, I think, either $5 or less per month. And then, up to $50 if you want an all pro membership. So just kind of a choose your own plan for the most part. It's pretty similar what you get, but there's a few different options there. But again, guys, the fact I get to do this full time, it's a lot of work. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's a ton of work. I had a lot of 3 and 4 hour sleep nights. Last night I uploaded the video at 4 a.m. Went to bed, woke up at 8:30 this morning. Finished up putting my big board together and watching some more tape on people, and pure adrenaline today. But yeah, it's a joy. And so yeah, the support's amazing. The fact that we've got 884 people here, despite Green Bay not having a first round pick today, is beyond amazing. So really, really appreciate you guys a ton, and thank you for the platform to get to do what I do, because it is a joy of a lifetime to be able to talk Packers 365 and just get to break down really fun stuff like a draft. Andy's one of the few YouTubers that make me feel like I actually get something out of being a member. Appreciate all you do, Andy. Appreciate that, Beast. Thank you so much. I'm more than happy to do it. It is a ton of fun. Yeah, we hit over 5K yesterday. Mac Podcast, thanks for being here. Over 5K. It's over a year since we met. That was awesome, Mary. And thank you so much for helping put that together as well. And thank you for coming on the chat. That was a ton of fun yesterday. And so glad we were able to raise $5,000 for Mac. That was a ton of fun and really, really cool for a great cause. Dank, thank you so much. It's one of those things where I was looking for something for a really long time of what I wanted. And then the idea came to me and I just had to have it happen, because I was super excited once I thought of it and made it happen. And they, Valley Cabinet here in Green Bay, and I think in the Fox Valley as well, but they have an office in Green Bay. They crushed it. I basically kind of gave them a pretty simple idea of kind of what I wanted, and they were able to make it happen. The lights behind, or like by the helmets, and they did a fantastic job with it. So it could not have turned out any better, and exactly what I was hoping it was going to be. Yep. Sam Shields is the 37 up here. Yep. So there's not actually, this is so hard. It's not actually a locker over there, but it would be, right? If there was a locker there, then that one would be Sam Shields. So I wanted to honor him. I could only get 3 lockers in, but yeah, I wanted to put him up there if I could. So was able to get that 37 up there at least. Thank you, Andy. This and Locked On Badgers are legitimately my favorite part of the internet. Who does Locked On Badgers? Is that, I don't know who does that. You'll have to let me know. I haven't listened to that one. Washington's pick is in. Sonny Styles, the pick at number 7. Sonny Styles, the Washington Commanders at pick number 7. The Giants do not intend to trade Kayvon Thibodeau per Adam Schefter. I wonder if they're going to play reset off-ball linebacker more. That could be something that they do too. If I were going to take an off-ball linebacker, I probably just would have taken the off-ball linebacker from Ohio State. I think Reese is fantastic. I had Reese higher on my board. I would have taken him too, but I'll be interested to see how they utilize him. But so we've got quite the Ohio State draft so far. We've got Tate at 4, Reese at 5, and now Sonny Styles at 7. So pretty crazy in that regard. I mean, we kind of knew it was going to happen that way at some point, but a lot of Ohio State folk in this little run here. Excuse me, little run. So New Orleans is on the clock. New Orleans officially on the clock. Of course, the Chiefs selection at 6 is just getting announced. We already know the pick at 7 for Washington, and New Orleans is on the clock. Very NFL-esque. But that's where we're at right now. Reese with the Parsons track. Yeah, it could be. I don't think he's going to be that good, but he's a hell of a talented player. That's for sure. Players in the first you don't want in the NFC North. Let's see. This would have to be, I'll just do kind of players who are left, since we know that some of these players will not. I don't hate like if some of the safeties go, because I just don't think there's a ton of positional value there, but I'd probably prefer Caleb Downs doesn't end up in the NFC North. Don't want Jordan Tyson in the NFC North. Honestly, after that, at this point, there's really not much. Everything is pretty boom and bust from here. It's either like boom and bust or it's a position that's not super talented. Like Aoni probably don't want in the division because I think he's going to be a really good guard. Yeah, I don't really care if some of these safeties end up cool. You got a great safety. All right, everyone's got a great safety. You know, we'll find a way to deal with it. Yeah, there's not much I'm afraid of anymore, to be honest. Yeah, there's really not. I think Jordan Tyson's going to be really good. So, but I don't think there's no way he's making it down to where anybody in the North is picking. So I'm pretty cool at this point. Aoni to the Bolts. Maybe. I've seen a couple of mocks where it happened. Just in how the Cowboys used him. Yeah, for sure. That makes a ton of sense. Ryan Herrings is the show host. I don't know if I'm familiar with his work. I don't know if I don't think I follow him on Twitter. Evan Flood, is it right? I think he's the main person that I follow for all the Badgers news and have alerts on for him. He does a good job with all the updates. The 8th pick is in as well. I had to make sure that I had this right. But yeah, 8th pick is in as well. So we just had Delane go to the Chiefs, who traded up. Washington at 7 took Sonny Styles. Saints at 8 took Jordan Tyson. So those are your updates as of now. That is per Jordan Schultz. Jordan Tyson to the Saints, selected at pick 8. Tyson was pick 8 on my big board. Sonny Styles was 5, who went pick 7. So Tate went a little bit earlier, again, than my board. So did Delane. Best available on my board is Ruben Bain. And then Maui Noah would be after that. Then Spencer Fano after that. Those are the 3 best remaining on my board right now. On best available on ESPN's board is Maui Noah, Caleb Downs, and Ruben Bain. That is where we are at. Tyson not to the NFC North. Taylor Jenkins, he's the old Memphis Grizzlies head coach. He did a good job there. A couple things. Tom's amazing, and I think all the stuff that he has done for charity, he was more than deserving of that award. So no hard feelings there by any stretch of the imagination. He like I said, he's well deserving of that recognition and represented the Packers well. Obviously the stuff that he was able to do with Mark Murphy too, and very, very great ambassador for the team. No questions there. I think the other thing too is that it would be a little bit awkward. I think in my situation, because I am credentialed for the team, right? So I have I actually have like a media capacity with the team. It would just be like a conflict of interest is probably a little bit too strong, but there's probably a little bit too much of conflict there. Not that I would have been nominated or won anyway, but I think that it would just be a little bit different because again, I cover the team full time and things like that. I hate this running back class. This running back class has to be the worst of all time. It is so bad. He's fine to me, like late day 3, 5, 6, 7, somewhere in there. It's fine. No interest above that. He can make a lot of people miss. It's fun. I think I probably have him as my 4th running back. I'd have to go and look. But yeah, this running back class is super mega ass. It's just not fun. The funny thing is, when I heard about the running back class being bad, I was like, how bad can a running back class be? Like, you can find running backs everywhere. They all end up being pretty good. Like, you can always find running backs. There's no way that a running back class is like bad. It doesn't happen. And then I watched it and I was like, ooh, this running back. I like the top 2. I like the top 2 a lot. I actually do. I said Mike Washington. I think in most drafts he's a 4th, but I have a pretty solid, in this draft, he's a 3rd round guy in this draft. He's fine. And then just everything falls off well after that. Mike Washington's number 79 on my board. And I do think that the 2 Notre Dame backs are really good in any draft. Like Love would have been the top running back in the vast majority of drafts. And I do think Price is a solid 2nd round back in any given draft. But after that, it gets a little weak. Marshawn Lloyd would be the third running back in this draft. That was a bad draft too. He was the top running back taken in that draft, right? Or at least I don't know if he was the top running back taken, but I know he was the top running back on like Daniel Jeremiah's board and a couple other boards as well, like some of the main ones. He was the top running back in that draft, but I think he would have been the third running back in this draft. Yeah, Black from Indiana, who they brought in for a top 30. I do think as a day 3 guy, especially if it's like round 6, maybe round 5, but probably round 6, I think he's a totally good pick at the end of day 3. Like that's a normal day 3 running back that has value. I would have no issue with him on day 3. Yep, absolutely. John Kuhn making the announcement tomorrow. Yeah, Jenkins was the top assistant to Budenholzer as well. So you've got a little bit of callback there with a little bit new style and getting some success in Memphis as well. Appreciate the 900 plus of you who are in chat. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you have not done so already. But again, more than appreciative of you guys being here. Don't think we had anything else come in. Sorry, took a little look away from my phone there for a bit. Yeah, nothing new there. So yeah, Tyler Shuck gets Jordan Tyson. They needed to get him some weapons. Not a surprise at all that Cam Ward, they wanted to get Cam Ward, another wide receiver, to give him more weapons, and not a surprise that they wanted to get Tyler Shuck some weapons. Not surprised by that at all. Thank you, Jordan. Yeah, I thought 2. I had 2 in the top 10 on my list. I thought both wide receivers would go top 10. I had Carnell Tate at not mocked, but on my big board for just who I thought was most talented or whatever. I had Carnell Tate at 7, Jordan Tyson at 8. I like Tyson more than Tate. Just with Tyson's injuries, I just bumped Tate up a little bit, but I really wanted to make Tyson my number 1 wide receiver in this draft. I just couldn't do it with the injuries, but Tate was at 7, Jordan Tyson was at 8 for me. How well do you think Williams, Woodson, and Collins would do in today's event? Fantastic. I think all 3 of them in their prime would be one of the best defensive backfields in the league. No question about it. Would you trade the Packers' 2nd for a next year's 2nd and this year's 5th? Yeah. Probably almost no matter what. But especially if it was a team that I felt like wasn't very good and that could end up being like pick 33 or like 35, 38 next year. Yeah, I would do that. I would take a 2nd. I would trade 52 for, a team that I didn't think was going to be that good for their 2nd and then a 5th this year. I would probably do that. It sucks this year, but I think you'll be very excited about it next year. Jonathan Brooks, Benson, and Corum were taken before Lloyd. Oh, so there were 3. Okay. Yeah, 3 before, but I know he was, again, number 1 on a lot of people's boards at running back that year. Love the channel, Andy. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Why is this year's running back class so bad? No athletes, no pro-style systems that translate devaluing of the position. I just think happenstance. I just think sometimes you get bad classes where you just don't have the players that either came out or whatever. But yeah, there's 3 day 1 and 2 draft picks in this entire draft at running back. It's just really, really slim. Yeah, I don't know what happened in college football that made it that way. I don't know if some of the better running backs stayed due to getting NIL money or what it was, but this year at least was a very barren position at running back. I did not watch Diego Pounds, but Sam Roosh I really like. Really, really like. I would be totally cool with him starting in the 3rd round. 2nd would be too rich for him. For sure, he's 86 on my big board. Brugler did not have him in his top 100. Daniel Jeremiah had him at 83. He's 103 on the consensus big board. But yeah, starting in round 3, and especially if you get him in round 4, I would love that too. Fano went to the Browns. Yeah, there we go. Spencer Fano, number 9 overall. Not super shocking that he was the top offensive lineman taken. I know Maui Noah kind of took a lot of the oxygen for that top offensive line spot, a lot of the talk. But I know a lot of people believe that Maui Noah is going to have to kick into guard. And there's no question that Fano is going to be a tackle. Brugler had Fano ahead of Maui Noah. So that was one right there. I had Maui Noah at 10 and Fano at 11. So, I mean, and if you would have switched him, I would have had no issue with it whatsoever. So not super surprised that Fano went ahead of Maui Noah. And I think that's a really good pick for Cleveland. They actually did a really good job. Remember, like their entire offensive line was free agents, and everyone's like, what the hell are they doing? They actually did a pretty damn good job remaking that offensive line, because they're going to now have Fano at left tackle. That pushes DeJuan Jones into a swing tackle role. They got Zion Johnson. They way overpaid for Zion Johnson, but they got Zion Johnson at left guard. He'll be a solid starter. Good luck with Elton Jenkins. Maybe he has a bounce back year, but they have Elton Jenkins at center. As of right now, Tevin Jenkins is the right guard. He's been hurt so much of his career, but he played pretty limited snaps last year. And when he did, he looked really, really good. And then they have Titus Howard at right tackle. So for basically going from needing an entirely new offensive line, they basically did it, brought back Tevin Jenkins, or giving him the starting job, and then brought in Titus Howard, Elton Jenkins, Zion Johnson, and Spencer Fano all in one offseason. I mean, they don't have a quarterback, but it should definitely help out Quinshawn Judkins a lot. And, whatever quarterback does end up playing, I think they're going to be appreciative of the time, effort, and energy that they put into that position, more the money, effort, and energy, maybe more like it. Maggie really likes Pounds, but according to her, it's because she just wants to say he's pound for pounds the best offensive lineman in the draft, which I respect. I totally respect that. Maggie's the best. Maggie's absolutely amazing. Yeah, Roush in the 4th would be phenomenal. Andy, for your Luige's ad, you should spell out the name. I searched for them twice before realizing I was misspelling. Luiges Pizza.com. Luiges Pizza.com. What is Chat XP? I don't know. I'm not sure. Fano played right side at Utah. I wonder if he can translate to the left side. I think he projects as more of a left tackle. But I don't know if Titus can play left or not. I think Titus has played right his whole career, right? I believe. But yeah, I do think Fano can play left. Again, there's always a little bit of a projection there. So Titus has played some left guard. Right tackle and left guard. That's an interesting combo. Left guard, right tackle, left guard. He did play some left tackle back in 2021, but it's been a hot second. So 2021, he played a decent amount of left tackle. So he's done it. That's a possibility as well that they could maybe move him over there. Actually, some of his best graded games have been at left tackle, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, so that I guess is one option. They could put him at left tackle, or again, just move Fano over there. They'll have to make that decision once they get in. Jade Heath, thank you so much, my friend. That's very kind of you. Don't catch you much live, but wanted to show some support. I really like the interview, She Said TV with Policy. How did you like the interview? I loved it. I absolutely loved it. If you haven't had the chance yet to check out that interview, I highly recommend doing it. Really cool for She Said TV to get them. Giants drafting, in case again, spoiler here, Giants drafting Francis Maui Noah at number 10. So they get the next offensive lineman goes right off the board, right after Fano getting taken at 9. So good on the Giants for taking, being able to take Arvell Reese and Maui Noah, depending on who you ask. Arvell Reese was the second edge, or depending on what they use him as, but second edge. A lot of people had him as the best edge. So they may have got the best edge at number 5. And a lot of people had Maui Noah as the best offensive lineman. They might have got the best offensive lineman at pick 10. So if you're the New York Giants, you might, depending on what happens, what people think of it, there's a possibility they got the best pass rusher and best pass protector in the draft. It's not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. But sorry, going back to Jade here again. Thank you so much. I thought Policy was amazing. I thought we have not had the opportunity to really get to know Policy all that well. Most of his interactions have been with a small circle of media. So as fans, to get to have that where he literally talked with Cheesehead TV, and not only was it really cool of him to do it, not only did Aaron and Corey do such an amazing job with it, but I thought Policy was just awesome during the entirety of it. Thought he did a really nice job. Came across as having such a great understanding of what the position is and his job. And it just came across really, really well. So I loved it. And kudos on Cheesehead TV for doing it. LaFleur loves 12 personnel. Musgrave isn't it. We need a solid tight end, and this is a great class for that. Give me Bentley from Utah. Didn't watch Bentley from Utah, but I agree with your overall assessment. And if I've talked about, if they do get a tight end, especially if it's on day 2, if they get a second or third rounder, don't be surprised if they ship Musgrave somewhere. Just to recap, we've had the Raiders, of course, take Fernando Mendoza. The Jets take David Bailey. The Cardinals take Jeremiah Love. The Titans with kind of the first surprise, taking Carnell Tate at number 4. Arvell Reese to the Giants at number 5. Mansour Delane, the Chiefs traded up for and took at number 6. Sonny Styles to the Commanders at number 7. That I haven't had a chance to talk about that. That is an interesting pick, if I'm remembering correctly, because maybe I'm wrong. They have Frankie Louvu, and they spent on Leo Chenal this offseason at linebacker. So I don't know what they're going to do there. That's, unless they plan on playing a lot of 4-3 or something, but they're a 3-4 defense. So, Chenal can rush a little bit, but that's not what you primarily want him as. That's an intriguing one. I don't know exactly what their plan is. Some people, not many, but some people thought that maybe Sonny Styles could do a little bit of edge rushing. I don't know if that's their plan, but they've got a little bit of a logjam there now at off-ball linebacker. So that's a little bit of an interesting selection for them at 7. Jordan Tyson to the Saints at 8. Fano to the Browns at 9. And Maui Noah to the Giants at 10. And this actually, so I have all of the 10 players who were selected were in the top 11 on my big board. The only player that has not been selected yet, which could be due to either the off-field stuff or could be due to the very, 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 very short T-Rex arms, is Ruben Bain. I had Ruben Bain at 6 on my board. Ruben Bain was 9th on Dane Brugler's board, 7th on Daniel Jeremiah's board, 6th on the consensus big board, again, 6th on my board, and he is still out there. He is the only one in my top 10 or top 11 at this point that did not go in the top 10. Dolphins are on the clock. Ruben Bain has the opportunity to stay in Miami if they go in that direction. Caleb Downs is still on the board. Caleb Downs is 17th on my board. That has nothing to do with Caleb Downs. All right. Safety to me is not, it's not that I don't care about it. You need good safeties. You can find really good safety. Really good safeties in the 3rd round of this draft. Geno Stone, who is, he's a fine safety or whatever. He got like a 1-year vet minimum. All right. I know he had a rough year last year, but he had a really good year the couple of years before that. He got a 1-year vet minimum. And the player that I think Caleb Downs is, and people may disagree, they may think he's better than this, but I think like a really good outcome for Caleb Downs would be Antoine Winfield Jr. Like that's who I saw when I watched him. And that's a great outcome. Antoine Winfield Jr. is a really, really good player. I just don't know, like, is that worth a top 5, top 10 pick? Apparently not. The league has sort of agreed with me. Again, I don't know. He's probably going to go soon, but I just, the positional value for it, I really, really struggle with. Like I said, there's going to be safeties in the 3rd round of this draft who are starting caliber safeties from day 1. I don't feel like I need to take one. And the issue with Downs too, again, he's a great player. Great player. Again, I think he's like Antoine Winfield Jr., who's a great player. He's a little bit undersized, right? He doesn't have like the long arms. He's not the super freaky athlete. Like if you're going to take it, the thing that I always go back to is Malik Hooker. Malik Hooker was a safety that we all freaked out about, right? He went, what number did he go at? 15. He went 15th overall, right? And I actually think like some of the stuff that Hooker was doing as like a center field safety was almost like a little bit better than some of the stuff that Caleb Downs was doing. Everyone was like, Hooker's is going to be amazing, etc. And he's had a fine career, but he's not changing anyone's defense by being on it. Defensive like safety positional value, I struggle with it a lot. And it has nothing to do with Caleb Downs. Caleb Downs is one of the better players in this draft. There's no question about it. If you wanted to pick him top 10 and you don't care about positional value, I will not fight you or argue about it whatsoever. He's that good. He's that talented. I don't see it as being that important. I don't think it changes your DNA of your team all that much. Unless you get Ed Reed, right? Somebody like that. If it's Ed Reed, okay, I'm in. Sign me the hell up. If I'm going to spend a top 10 on safety, like dude better be a Hall of Famer. And here's the other thing I'll say, with how good this safety class is, If I were saying right now, if you said the best safety in this class will either be Caleb Downs or one of the other safeties, I would be willing to bet you it's one of the other safeties. I don't know who Caleb Downs is the best chance to be the best one, but I would be willing to bet you, just based on the really talented safety class that this is, that Caleb Downs doesn't even become the best safety out of this class. And again, I love the player, but I don't see quite the value there. Cowboys are up at pick 11, trading with the Dolphins. So they probably go from what? Did they just go from 12 to 11? Or did they? Because they were at 12, right? Did they move up one spot? Did we get a one spot up trade, or did they go from 20 to 11? And then they have 11 and 12 back to back. We will know soon. Cowboys are on the clock at 11. Wonder what the one pick tax is going to be. Yeah, one spot. All right, so they did go from 12 to 11. I don't see, to me, Eric Berry was much more of a freaky athlete. They give up 2 5th-round picks, 177 and 180. So 2 5th-round picks to get up to one spot. Maybe Ruben Bain here. We'll see what Dallas does. One spot trade for your Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, Sean Taylor was amazing. Yeah, he was incredible too. If you got Sean Taylor, I'd be all for that as too. Earl Thomas in his prime. I don't think Downs is quite Earl Thomas. So I do think X was worth it, because I don't think he actually, like in hindsight, like I don't think his contract is that bad. X is a proven commodity at that point, where again, I think Downs is going to be really good. I know it might be a little bit of me speaking out of both ends of my mouth, but I think X, with what he's brought to the back end of that defense, was worth it, especially at the time. I do think the safety market is a little bit more saturated now than what it was. And like, if they needed to use Javon Bullard and Evan Williams as their two safeties, and have that money to use elsewhere, and they could get a really good corner using the same money, I could at least listen to that argument. But I guess probably the best way to put it is, I would have no issue. Like, if my team selected Caleb Downs in the top 10, I'm not going to be like, oh my God, we've got Caleb Downs. What the hell are we doing? We drafted a really great player. But so it's kind of the same with McKinney. Like, is it the greatest maybe use of resources because you're spending big on a safety? No, but did you get an unbelievably awesome safety? Yeah, and I freaking love him. So I'm not going to be too upset about that. Oh, it could be. Is it Downs to the Cowboys? That would make sense too. Yeah, they're going with Downs. Okay. That's what the chat's saying, at least. I haven't seen it come through yet. Oh, yep, there it is. Cowboys will select Ohio State safety Caleb Downs. It's a good pick for them. I mean, he's a really good player. We obviously talked about the positional value there. This is, again, closer to, I think, where his value starts to make a lot more sense. Right outside of that top 10. Again, if he would have taken him top 10, I would have had no issue with it. But good pick for Dallas. No, I think that makes a lot of sense there. Dallas's defensive backfield. He'll team, interestingly enough, ironically enough, with Malik Hooker. They have Jalen Thompson too. He's probably going to actually team with Jalen Thompson. Actually might bench Malik Hooker for Caleb Downs. Caleb Downs could do a variety of different things for them. He could, Deron Bland's in the nickel, so I don't know if they're going to move him there, but they'll be able to move him around. But yeah, with signing Jalen Thompson and bringing in, bringing in Downs, it actually could move Malik Hooker to the bench, which is, again, kind of ironic based on what we were just talking about. Yeah, that's another great point too, Pink Sniper. When we had McKinney, we had 0 safeties. And yeah, we drafted 3, right? We drafted Evan Williams, Javon Bullard, and Kitano Adapo. But when we signed him, that was not the situation. A lot of time left. You never know. Never know. Maybe Cooper DeJean could be in the cards. Tacario Davis in round 4, yes or no? Yeah, I wouldn't have an issue with that. Depending on who's there, but I could easily see something like that being the case. Is it worth 2 5ths? I will say this. If you like the player enough, you're not going to lose any sleep over 2 5ths. It's like when they traded up, what was it, like a late 4th-round pick, like a comp 4th pick for Jordan Love. If you weren't willing to trade up the comp 4th pick to get Jordan Love, you should never have taken Jordan Love. Like that's you do that all day, every day to get your guy that you really want. If they liked Caleb Downs that much, I have no issue with using 2/5 to go and get him. For one spot, it's a little bit of whatever, but maybe they thought somebody else was going to jump in because Miami was trying to move down with numerous teams. Maybe they thought another team might move up to take him. So, they get their guy. Nobody's ever going to remember the 2/5 that they gave up. They're going to remember that they got Caleb Downs. So no major issue there. If there were no Parsons trade, no Gary trade, who do you think we take at number 20? Let's see. We'll talk about that when we're on the board at 20 and see who's there. And we'll kind of discuss what some options would have been at pick 20. Bain, I guess, could go to Detroit. It would have been funny if Dallas took Bain. They could have had both Bains, Bain Gary and Ruben Bain. Just Bains everywhere. Let's see here. Favorite draft riser that's in the Packers range? I think like the only real riser in that area is Dejon Stribling. Like, I don't know that anyone else is like rising up the board. Stribling's had a pretty meteoric rise as of late, kind of going from right outside of the top 100 to now somebody that's going to probably be in the 2nd round. I like him. I'd have no issue with that pick. I just, I don't think they need a receiver at that spot, but depending on what's there, that's probably the answer. Yeah, I don't know. The Dolphins they need all the picks. Like the Dolphins could have 30 picks in this draft, and all 30 are probably going to make their roster. That's where their roster is right now. So they want as many picks as they can get. It's the right thing to do, by the way. Good on Miami. You move one spot down, they probably weren't going to take. Probably weren't going to take him anyway at that spot. So Caleb Downs, that is. So they pick up 2 5th-round picks, and they need all the picks that they can get. Wouldn't be surprised if they try to move down from 12 again either. Nothing else has come through as of yet that I've seen. Yeah, so Dexter Lawrence went for Francis Maui Noah is the end trade there. Browns coach Todd Monken said Utah offensive tackle Spencer Fano was their top target because of his character, toughness, and athleticism. Brisk is not spiked. I get so much crap for drinking Brisk iced tea. Brisk iced tea does not have good PR or something. Everyone gives me a hard time for drinking Brisk iced tea. I will say, I don't think I've ever seen anybody else drink Brisk iced tea. I might be the only person keeping them in business. I don't know. I've always loved it. And by the way, like this is another really weird thing. I like it room temperature. I don't like it cold. I like it room temperature. So I don't know. I'm just a weird human being 99% of the time. I see some talk of Bain to the Dolphins in chat. I have not seen that come through as of yet. But if it does, I will let you guys know. Nothing wrong with Brisk. Brisk is solid. That's Brisk, baby. There we go. All my Brisk lovers in the chat. Brisk is goated. Okay. I guess I'm not the only one. I'm amongst friends. I'm sure it's like 99% like high fructose corn syrup. Yeah, it's the very first thing. It's just pure garbage. There goes my Brisk sponsorship. But yeah, it's just I'm sure pure poison. But I enjoy it. No way. We've got our first shocker. We have got our first shocker. Holy crap. So apparently Bain to the Dolphins. I have yet to see that come through, but I'm going to trust everyone in chat. The LA Rams selecting from the University of Alabama quarterback Ty freaking Simpson. Ty freaking Simpson to the Rams. They get their heir apparent. They're trying to do the Jordan Love. They are trying to do the Jordan Love. Wow. That's crazy. Ty Simpson was 38th on my board. Rams liked him enough. Kudos to, I guess, Dan Orlovsky. Dan Orlovsky, you can take, he's not, he didn't get taken ahead of, Mendoza, but Orlovsky, wow. That is wild. Good for Simpson. I guess that's why he's at the draft. That is crazy. Is it Proctor to the Dolphins? Like I said, I have not seen Bain come through yet. So I saw a lot of Bain in the chat, but I have not seen that come through yet. So I haven't seen Proctor come through either. So I've not seen that one tipped as of yet. So I know the one after. Yeah, not seen the Dolphins pick yet at 12. Does anyone have a confirmation on who they picked at 12? I saw somebody say Proctor. I saw somebody say Bain, but I have not seen it. But Simpson is a Ram. This is the most like draft thing ever where we know pick 13, but no, we don't know pick 12 for sure. I don't know. Nobody in chat is confirming either. So I don't know. I guess 12 is a little bit of a mystery at the moment. Yeah. Okay. Mike has not seen anything either. So this is crazy that we know pick 13, but don't know pick 12. Love it. Love the drama. I did see again with a lot of people. It's Caden Proctor. All right. Caden Proctor, number 12. That was one that I said watch for him to go earlier than people expected. I was a pretty big Caden Proctor guy. It's definitely a very boom bust sort of pick. A little surprised that Miami wanted to do that. But I guess they've got a blank slate to party with, so go for it. So it is Caden Proctor to the Dolphins at 12. It is Ty Simpson to the Rams at 13. The Ravens are on the clock at 14. And Ruben Bain is still out there, and he has not been selected yet. Well, I don't know who Malik Willis is going to throw to, but it is good to have protection too. And the thing about Proctor too, right, is like you're going to do some running quarterback stuff too. That could very much work. And they're going to have to live off of Achane and Malik Willis doing some running in that offense. So getting Proctor does make some sense. And they'll probably target some wide receivers in this draft at some point. That is a interesting little run there. So Caden Proctor ends up with Miami, and Ty. I'm still not over the Ty Simpson. That is crazy. I didn't think they'd do it. I didn't think the Rams would have that sort of appetite, but I guess they liked him enough. I think the thing that's interesting, and the Rams, they're not always going to be in the position to take a quarterback or whatever. They're probably going to be really good this year, and there's a lot of quarterbacks that are supposed to be in next year's draft that maybe they could have done this at another time. And they are like, they've been going all in. They are in complete FDM picks mode, and they have the opportunity to take one more and, get another really good player at that spot. And they said, screw it, we're taking the quarterback. It's Proctor at 12. Ravens pick failed their physical and will be voided. Well done, M.2. Thank you to all 975 of you who are in chat. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Appreciate you guys a ton. Okay, opinion on the Rams decision. Kind of what I was saying. I am surprised they didn't just go for, the opportunity to get one more player to go towards a Super Bowl run at this point in time. I could have understood if there was like, I can't miss like top 10 quarterback here and he fell or whatever, but it feels like Simpson at this point in the draft at pick 13 is a bit of a reach, if I'm being honest. But, this has been, what Green Bay has done and teams have had successful doing is, getting that quarterback an opportunity to sit. He is in a legitimate sit for a year or two position under Matthew Stafford. And that's huge. He's going to have the opportunity to learn in a Sean McVay system that is very quarterback friendly. It's a really, really, really good landing spot for Ty Simpson. I'll say that. You can't ask for anything more. Like that is a beautiful situation. So kudos to them for that. I don't know if it's going to work out or not, but if I'm Ty Simpson, I could not be more thrilled. If I'm a Rams fan, I have some questions, but if I'm Ty Simpson, I'm thrilled. I don't think any corners are falling because I think Delane was really the one. And I think McCoy with the injury issue, it sounds like he's going to fall maybe even to day 2. So that's going to be worth monitoring where he just falls to. There's not probably a corner. Like the next corner off the board is either probably going to be, unless again, somebody is cool with McCoy, the real McCoy, but Colton Hood, Chris Johnson. I even seen some D'Angelo Pons could go round 1 as well, and maybe even corner 2. So those are the ones that you're probably looking at, and you're probably not going to get your next one unless somebody is good with McCoy. You're probably not going to see one until maybe like pick 18, 20, 23, somewhere in that range, I would think. Maybe, but I don't know that they're going to expect Simpson to come in and start right away, even if that's the case. Like, I don't think he's completely ready for that. So I don't think so, but we'll see. Very interesting pick there. Very interesting pick. Was Proctor highly rated? I might be totally mistaken. I swear he was round 2. No, he was a first round guy all day, every day. He was 15 on my board. So Caden Proctor was 15 on my board and he went 12. Simpson's the big one so far. Simpson was 38 for me. He was 42 for Dane Brugler. He was 36 for Daniel Jeremiah. He was 38th on the consensus big board. So yeah, he was much more in that 30s range for Ty Simpson. For Caden Proctor for me, again, was at pick 15. He was 19th on Brugler's, 24th on Jeremiah's, and 19th on the consensus big board. So that's where he was at. But yeah, I was a little bit higher on him at 15. And again, he goes 12 to Miami. Who does David Bailey play for in 3 years? I think still the Jets. I think he'll be there. I think he's going to be a really good player. I had him at number 3 on my board. I had no issue with him going 2. I think he's a fantastic, fantastic player. I think they'll be very pleased with him. He's going to get to the quarterback a lot. Oh, he did get to 1K. Thank you, guys. Let's go. 1,020 people in chat with no Packers pick. You guys freaking rule. Tomorrow's going to be better, right? We're going to get to like 2,000 tomorrow with 2 picks on. I'm not going to be leaving the chat tomorrow. It's just going to be me. Again, maybe Justice hops on for a little bit, but just going to be me tomorrow. No leaving the chat to record any episodes. I'll record the episode as soon as I'm done. I'll be live the entirety around to a half an hour beforehand. So, set your alarms, get ready half hour before the draft starts tomorrow. Okay. Well, Jordan Schultz said the league's worst kept secret was that Ty Simpson was loved in the Rams building. The question was whether or not LA would pull the trigger. All right. Well, then why didn't you report that the Rams were going to take Ty Simpson if everyone knew it? I do like that Proctor pick for Miami. I do think that makes some sense with the offense that they have right now. Very, very risk reward though, to say the least. Yeah, Bain is the biggest faller right now. Appreciate you, Beast. Oh, yeah. If somebody is thinking Proctor was the second or third round, you might be thinking of Caleb Proctor. Caleb Proctor is a defensive tackle out of Southeastern Louisiana. So there is another K Proctor that is probably a day 3, but maybe sneaks into day 2 sort of situation. So that's the other K Proctor. Caden Proctor is the offensive tackle from Alabama, and he was always expected to be a first round pick. This is again probably maybe a little bit earlier than most expected, but I like I said, I think I always said he was going to go earlier than what people thought. When you go watch Proctor, all right, is the technique perfect? No. Does there need to be some work? He's 20 years old, first of all. Go and watch that dude's size and just watch his feet and how quick they are. That is a rare thing. Most drafts do not have a player that size with that athletic ability, with those type of feet, with that type of movement. And it's no guarantee that it's going to work out. In a draft like this, where every damn player is either a risk reward or a position that's not, an ideal situation. There's some positional value sort of stuff going on. He could easily be the best player from this draft, Caden Proctor. He is that talented. If Caden Proctor just figures it out, in fact, I will tell you, he's probably the best player from this class. He's that talented. So he's got work to do. He's got to figure it out. But anytime you see a player like that with that movement at that size, just book. They're going to go like top 15 almost every single time. No in-person live events on the horizon. No. Honestly, I like doing it from time to time. I'm sure I'll do some again at some point, but it's just way better to do them from A, the comfort of my home, and B, more people can see it, more people have access to it. I know if I do a live event, a bunch of people are going to show up, here. Sometimes with live events in person, I've had like 200-300 people show up, and I've had, like 10 people show up. You never quite know what's going to happen with those. So just a little bit easier, better to do it this way. Blake Miller is my guest for the Lions. Blake Miller is somebody that I've been so high on this entire process. He is 29th on Dane Brugler's board, 20th on Daniel Jeremiah's board, 31 on the consensus board. I have him at 12. He's another player I think is going to go a lot earlier than people expect. So Blake Miller to the Lions at 17 is my prediction here. Settle down, Sean. Settle down, Sean. Bummer to not have a first-round pick, but love the stress-free first night watch and stream. Yeah, it's like I said, it's like a bye week. You can just sit back, relax, have a Luige's Pizza, and enjoy the show. We're 13 picks in already. I don't think I've seen pick 14 yet. I suppose I should be doing my job and keeping a little bit of track of that as well. Okay, this was the worst-kept secret. Vega Ione from Penn State goes to the Ravens at 14. That was like the match made in heaven. So sorry, most hated Chicagoan. Your dream is dead. Vega goes to the Ravens at 14. And now the Buccaneers are on the clock at pick 15. This has been a rumored move spot. Again, teams may be trying to get ahead of Detroit at 16, or is it 16 that Detroit picks? Or is it 17 that Detroit picks? It is... Yeah, so sorry, 17 were Detroit picks. That either 15 or 16 teams could look to move ahead of Detroit because everyone knows that Detroit wants an offensive tackle. So we could see some movement at 15 and 16, potentially with the Bucs or the Jets moving down. So something to keep an eye on there. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. Ione to the Ravens. The Buccaneers are on the clock at pick 15. I'm going to clear out some of these notifications here so I can see things easier. Yeah, still a little surprised on that Ty Simpson news. Were you guys not here? We've been talking about it for the last 15 minutes. You guys must have just got here. No, I don't. There's no chance the Packers are trading into tonight. I don't think there is a single player right now that could fall to 32 that Green Bay would trade up for. Okay, if they traded up to 32 with anybody that's on the board right now, who would it be? That's a great question. I don't know that I have a great answer to that. Kenny and Sadiq would be really fun. He would be a really fun pick, but you're not trading up for a tight end and basically mortgaging the rest of your draft for a tight end. I don't think there's anybody that they would trade up for to 32. I don't think they would give a second, third, and fourth round pick for anybody that's left on the board. Maybe Blake Miller. Maybe if they really liked him at offensive tackle. If they have somehow Jermod McCoy cleared and nobody else does, maybe McCoy could be somebody. But again, if nobody else is clearing him, they're not going to clear him. Trade for Stetson Bennett. I don't see that happening. I think Sadiq will go in the next 5 to 7 picks. Yeah, a little bit surprising by the Rams for sure, for those of you who just got here. Very, very interesting selection. Like I said, Dan Orlovsky, he's going to be very happy. Simpson has talent. There's no question about that whatsoever. 1 year starter. I would be really nervous if he was going to a team where he had to start right away. I think this is like I said, a phenomenal outcome for Ty Simpson. This, and the league has to be thrilled too. This is where you want quarterbacks to go, is where they don't have to play right away and be in a crappy situation. I do think the Raiders have done about as good of a job to make this happen, where they are not in a position where Mendoza has to come in and fail right away. They do have Cousins. They brought in a $1 billion center in Linderbaum that will help with the checks and the calls at the line. They've got a fantastic running back to help them out as well. They've got arguably the best tight end in football. Second best, of course, to Tucker Kraft. But yeah, I think the Raiders have, for the most part, done a pretty darn good job in in putting Mendoza in a position to succeed, but this is a great landing spot for Ty Simpson. Remember when I had Reese drop 52, I had Sadiq drop there in a mock today. Yeah, that's why you have to be careful. Even like if I'm doing a mock and like somebody like that is there, I just ignore it. I pretended they're not there because it's not realistic, right? Bain, there's a couple things with Bain. Is Bain going to Tampa Bay? If you're wondering why he's falling, very short arms. It is a very, like, analytically, that athletic profile does not do well in the NFL. That's number one. Number two, there was the car crash thing, which killed somebody, which is problematic. But apparently he's been, absolved of all charges and things like that in that issue. But maybe that scared some teams away too. So yeah, that is that could be a reason why, but it's probably honestly more of the athletic stuff. If you haven't had a chance to play with it, ESPN has a projections tab on it, and you can click of like, so like for Ruben Bain, for example, you go to defensive end and then you select Ruben Bain, and it'll tell you the percentage that they become a Pro Bowler, starter, backup, replacement player, or a non-factor, basically like a cut player. Of all the players that are in the, like, basically like the first round, there's only 2 players that had under a 30% chance of becoming a Pro Bowler starter due to their with their metrics. Ruben Bain was one of them. He only has a 24.4% chance of becoming a starter or Pro Bowler per their metrics, per their analytics. The other one, same school, Akeem Mesidor, 20.8% chance. Those are the only like consensus first round players that didn't at least have a 30% chance or better of becoming a starter or Pro Bowler per their analytics. So there are some things out there with, Bain. The Buccaneers did take him. So Bain is off the clock to Tampa. But yeah, there were some stuff out there analytically, short arms, and then some of the off-field stuff that I think probably did scare some teams away with Ruben Bain. But he was still 6th on my board despite all of that. I think he's that good. I think he knows how to win. A little Brandon Graham type player. But yeah, he goes 15 to Tampa. Very fun player for them. So yeah, Ravens win Ione at 14. Ty Simpson 13 to the Rams before that. And now with pick 15, the Buccaneers have selected Miami pass rusher Ruben Bain. That's where we're at. We are at the New York Jets at pick 16. And then we have our first NFC North team on the clock with the Lions at pick 17. And we pray that they do something stupid. Makai Lemon still being available. All right, let's see what's best available on my board. So now that Bain is gone, Blake Miller at 12 for me. Casey Concepcion at 14. Jermod McCoy pending injury issues at 16. Makai Lemon at 18. Kenyon Sadiq at 19. And then Dylan Tieneman at 20. Those are the best remaining on my board. We're going via ESPN. Best available on their board is Makai Lemon, Kenyon Sadiq, Monroe Freeling, Jermod McCoy, and Akeem Mesidor. Yeah, I think that's a really big steal for Tampa at that spot. I think that's a really good pick for them. I think he'll be a real sound pass rusher and something that they needed too. I think Tampa is probably sitting very happy that Ruben Bain is a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. I think he'll do well there. It'll be interesting. I'm interested how they use it because they're in a 3-4. And so, he could potentially get moved inside a little bit, but their edges right now are Yaya Diaby and El-Kadeen Muhammad. Chris Braswell and Anthony Nelson are the backups. It's a nightmare. They're doing cartwheels in Tampa right now. They're doing the pants off dance off. Who do I want the Lions to take? You know who I want the Lions? I want them to take Gaston. I want the Lions to take the Gaston guy who was supposed to be a top 30 visit for the Packers, but wasn't. That's who I want the Lions to take. You can't pass up on him. He's too good. The Packers might take him. You got to take him now. Packers are probably going to trade up to take him. So Go get him, Lions. The like 1 percentile athlete, Gaston, the safety. Got to go get him. Yep, see, Lions need a safety. Go get him. Backup long snapper. Yeah, Dylan Tiananmen to Minnesota has been like mocked like 1,000,000,001 times because it's like, it's Harrison Smith. Harrison Smith's, done, and they can get his replacement. It all fits so well. I don't know if they'll do it or not, but it would be a good pick for him. What do I think of the top of the draft selection so far? I can just run through it really quick. Mendoza to the Raiders, obvious, perfect, makes sense, exactly what they needed. David Bailey, again, you could go back and forth whether you wanted Arvell Reese or David Bailey, but you should have gone with one of those two. Jets did good to get Bailey. He'll add to their pass rush immediately. Jeremiah Love, he's arguably the best player in the draft, so I'm not going to crush a team for taking Kenyon Sadiq to the Jets. Sadiq to the Jets at 16. That puts the Lions on the clock. So Sadiq goes to the Jets at pick 16. Yeah, so not going to crush the Cardinals for taking the best player in the draft. Getting Cardinal Tate for Cam Ward, I think can make sense. That's what you do. You draft your rookie quarterback, and then you get him as many weapons as possible. Cardinal Tate makes some sense for that reason. Arvell Reese was arguably the second best player in the draft. I have no issue with the Giants taking him there. Him and Abdul Carter have the ability, if they both reach their ceiling, to be arguably the best 1-2 edge rusher combo in football, not to mention they have Brian Burns there as well. Delane, the Chiefs had to get a corner. They traded away McDuffie. They lost Watson both to the Rams. They get the best corner in the draft, at least the one that's healthy. You could make an argument for McCoy, but they get Delane. It makes all the sense. They traded up, didn't have to give up too much to get him. I don't know that he would have gotten taken, but neither here nor there. Sonny Styles is the best player on the board at that point for Washington. So again, not going to kill them. I don't know that that's what they needed, and I don't know how they're going to fit Luvu and Chanel and Styles all together on the field, but you're not making any draft decisions based on Luvu or Chanel. Those are pretty much both like mid-tier stopgap type of players. So, you get the better one here, but a little bit of an interesting fit. Tyson, again, you've got a rookie or coming off a rookie year quarterback in Tyler Shuck. Get him more weapons. They do that with Tyson. Tyson and Olave, a pretty interesting 1-2 punch there. Spencer Fano, they needed the tackle, right? You get arguably the best offensive tackle in the draft. Good on the Browns. Maui Noah. A lot of people had Maui Noah as the best offensive lineman. They needed help on the offensive line. And not only that, he could be a guard or a tackle for them. So he has some versatility there. Caleb Downs, many people thought was, if not the best player in the draft, one of the top 3. Positional value goes into it. Dallas moves up, uses a couple 5th-round picks, gets him. He's going to be a really nice piece in their secondary. They're not going to be disappointed with that pick ever. Caden Proctor, again, I think if you're going to use an offense that can't pass a ton, that you're going to have to scheme some things up for Malik Willis, and you probably want to use Achane as much as possible. Well, getting a complete mauler at offensive tackle probably makes some sense there. And if Proctor fails at tackle, he's going to be probably one of the best guards in football. You should still be very, very good there. Ty Simpson, they're trying to get ready for the future without Matthew Stafford. Stafford probably has 1, maybe 2 years left. So, and with the issues that he's had with his back and things like that, can probably never be overly prepared. I think it's a bit of a risk just because I don't see Simpson as, a top 15 player even in this draft, but it's a good situation for Ty Simpson to be in. Aoane is a beautiful fit for the Ravens. One of the ones that, made the most sense in this entire draft. And the Buccaneers get my 6th player on the board at pick 15. Can't be too upset with that. Sadiq to the Jets. That one's a little bit, I don't know how I feel about that. That's probably the one that I would say is a little bit perplexing, just because they just took last year Mason Taylor in the 2nd round. I don't know that you really need it. They took Ruckert in the 3rd round in 2022. He's nothing, so that doesn't matter. But I don't know that they needed to double down on tight end after taking Mason Taylor in the 2nd round a year ago. I know everyone wants to go 2 tight end sets. It's fine. Garrett Wilson, Adonai Mitchell, Breece Hall, Mason Taylor, and Kenyon Sadiq is a pretty decent, group of 5 players, especially with a 2 tight end set. But we'll see. I'm sure they're trying to do their, Gronk Hernandez without the murder. We'll see if it works. Hopefully it works with no murder. That would be nice. Dolphins Twitter is not happy. That's fine. Whatever. Every fan base is upset all the time. Proctor's a very good gamble to take at that spot for a team that has a blank check to kind of gamble at the moment. Take high upside players. You're not playing for the season anyway. Take all the risks that you want. Try to hit a Hall of Famer. Why not? Go for it. Swing big. Yeah, I think it's going to take time. They're in a really, really bad position. You know, Halfley's in a bad position, and JES is John Eric Sullivan's in a bad position. That's a really rough team right now. But hey, it's a job, and they get to start it from the beautiful thing for them is they get to start it from scratch. That team got torn down to its core. They got to bring in the quarterback, and Malik Willis is kind of a lottery ticket there. And they just took a big home run swing with their pick. I like, if you're a team in that situation, like I said, swing for the fences. Why not? Go for it. Blake Miller to the Lions. What did I tell you guys? I don't know. I haven't confirmed that yet. I haven't seen that, but somebody put it in chat. I told you Blake Miller to the Lions was going to be the pick. We'll see if I'm right or not. I might have egg in my face in a second if that's not who they take. Hopefully I get this one right since I went out on a limb a little bit ago. He makes all this. He's such a Lions player, former wrestler. You see him like play through the whistle all the time. He's an awesome player. You don't love this if that's the pick, just because he's really good. Yeah, Blake Miller to the Lions at pick 17. Really, really good pick. Really, really good pick. Don't like that. He like the funny thing is like not the comp of the player that he is, but like the career that I think he's going to have. I put Taylor Decker. I think he's going to have a Taylor Decker career. I don't know that he's ever going to be an all-pro. Don't know that he's ever going to be a Pro Bowler. He's just going to have one of those decade-long, really sound starting left tackle, like a Brian Bulaga type career, right? It's never sexy. It's never, never in the all-pro pages or things like that. They're not getting Pro Bowl votes. It's just they're a sound, steady tackle for a decade. So whether that's, Brian O'Neill for the Vikings, right? Any of those players, I think that's exactly what Blake Miller is. He's a really, really good player. So don't like that for Detroit. I see Les Snead isn't getting the GOAT treatment for taking the quarterback in the first after an MVP season from quarterback one. Yeah, I guess not. I don't think, to be fair, Les Snead is a Super Bowl. Les Snead is a Super Bowl to his name. So that you get a little bit more of a blank check when you have a Super Bowl to your name. Goody didn't have a Super Bowl to his name. That makes things a little bit tougher. So now my next top players on the board went. So I've got Mendoza was my 1, Love was my 2, Bailey was 3, Reese was 4, Styles was 5, Bain was 6, Tate was 7, Tyson was 8, Delaney was 9, Maui Noah was 10, Fano was 11, Miller was 12, Aoni was 13. The next on my board that's available is KC Concepcion. At 14, I was a little bit aggressive on him. I know that going in. I was higher on him than most. I had Proctor at 15. I was higher than pretty much everybody with that. And he went early and went 12. McCoy is 16. That is just a huge asterisk. If he was cleared, he would have been gone by now. If he's not cleared, he's going to go way later. So I just didn't know what to do with him. I put him at 16. Caleb Downs is gone. He was my 17th player. Sadiq was 19th. So I've got Concepcion at 14. I've got Makai Lemon at 18. And I've got Dylan Tieneman at 20. And then I was super high on Keelan Rutledge. I have him at 21. And then Omar Cooper at 22. Monroe Freeling. Look for Monroe Freeling to go soon. Minnesota on the clock now, by the way, that Sadiq has been taken. So we got back-to-back NFC North. I hate that Miller went to the Lions. That sucks. He was one of my favorite players to watch in this draft. Dad and I were at Hagemeister next year. How much did you have at Hagemeister, Merrick? Last year, you asked us who we didn't want. We were the Max Harrison haters. All right. I got you. It sucks not having to pick, but more time to strategize. I guess that's one way of looking at it. Glass half full. I like it. Yeah, I don't like that the Lions took Blake Miller. No fun. I don't think Hood is going to slip that far. I don't think there's any chance of that. What position would I draft at 52, Jared? It depends on who is there, my friend. I'll tell you tomorrow when we're on the clock. We'll get to pick 22, and I'll tell you who I would have taken if Green Bay still had that pick. All right, so Minnesota's on the clock. Blake Miller to Detroit. He'll start for them right away, by the way. He'll start right away for the Lions, I would think. Everyone knew they were going to take a tackle in some capacity. Larry Borum was set to start. So they got Penei Sewell. Their line is still a little bit rough. They did sign Kate Mays as their starting center. He'll be okay. I mean, Blake Miller's still going to be a rookie, so hopefully you can take advantage of him a little bit. But they'll get better with Blake Miller in the long term. But that interior still with Tate Ratledge, Kate Mays, and Christian Mahogany is still very susceptible, and they're going to have a rookie at one of their tackles. So it's still going to be an okay offensive line, but they got better with Blake Miller for sure. Yeah, I don't think he's going to block Micah Parsons very well. Who gets to 40 or so that you legit trade up for? Chris Johnson, Colton Hood, Caden McDonald, Kristen Miller. It's probably one of those four. I think those would be the four that would have to be. Most State of Chicago, and thank you so much for the 5 memberships. Fave Green Bay Brewery is probably Hinterland. Yeah, it's probably my favorite. Minnesota could go in a variety of different directions. Carson Beck is what Minnesota needs. Minnesota needs Carson Beck. Got to get him. There's already 2 quarterbacks off the board. You cannot pass up this opportunity, Minnesota. Have to get Carson Beck. I'm going to say it, then they're going to do it, and he's going to go on to a Hall of Fame career. I'm going to look like an idiot. It's the next surprise pick that happens tonight. We're at the point where like anything could be surprising, but also like I'm almost like nothing would be surprising. I think if another quarterback went, that would, I think, be the only thing that would just like blow my mind. I don't think there's anything else that I could be just like completely blown away by. Because like the next like 30 players are all in like the exact same tier of player. There's not a whole heck of a lot of difference. I don't know if there's anything besides another quarterback getting taken tonight that would blow me away. I mean, if it's like a day 3 guy got all of a sudden taken, that would be shocking, I guess. But I don't know. Outside of like a Carson Beck going tonight, I think it's all going to be dudes that are very much in the same tier of player. Love that, Sean, that you got a membership. That's amazing. Looks like Tyler got one as well. Banks to the Vikings. No way. It is Caleb Banks. Oh, man. I don't know if I love that or hate that. He is, I think he can be the best defensive player in the draft. I think he can be out of the league in 2 to 3 years. Do what you want with that. I did a whole thing on, there's a TikTok out there I did from one of my takes. I think he's the most boom bust player in the entire draft. He has like Chris Jones type ability. If you said he became Chris Jones, it'd be like, yeah, could have saw that coming. Just, the percent chance that it happens is, who knows? But he is an insane risk reward player. And again, in this draft, if I'm a GM, I'm swinging. You have a choice in this draft. Like you have a choice. Like Blake Miller is just a double right in the gap. It's a double. You're gonna get a good player. You're not gonna get a great player. You know what you're getting. There's always a chance anybody can fail, right? There's always a chance somebody could get astronomically better out of nowhere. But for the most part, Blake Miller is just we're just gonna take what's the defense is given to us, and we're gonna be happy with it. We're just gonna move the bases and keep it rolling. That's the one way to go about this, and just be like, we're just gonna be happy. We're gonna take Caleb Downs. It might not be the greatest positional value, but we're just gonna take that hit. We know we can get that hit. We're not going to try to do anything crazy. Or in this draft where everything's a little bit weird, you can just say, you know what? Screw it. We're just going to take the highest upside player, and we're going to do everything we can to develop that player. The Dolphins we're taking the high end player in Proctor. The Vikings said, screw it. The thing with, I had, where did I end up with him? Give me 1 second here. I had Caleb Banks 52 on my board. And yet I have, again, no issue with Minnesota taking, not as like a Minnesota hater. I have no issue with Minnesota taking him at 18. Again, you talk or you see people that talk about Banks that have are in the know, that have talked to people, and they say he wears down really quick. He's got the foot injuries. His current foot injury, it's like his second or third foot injury. It's keep him out until at least June. He should be healthy after that. But that's a really, really interesting pick. He could be a huge pain in the ass for the Packers, or he could never, really be a factor whatsoever. We'll see. Flip a coin. The Panthers take Monroe Freeling, Georgia offensive tackle. Another guy that's going to probably need a little bit of time, but if you're drawing up an offensive tackle in the lab, it's going to look pretty much like Monroe Freeling. So just going to need a little bit of time to develop. He was 23rd on my board, 17th on Brugler's, 22nd on Daniel Jeremiah's. Caleb Banks, by the way, item at 52 on my board. Brugler had him at 52. Daniel Jeremiah had him at 51. Consensus, he was at 37. So even, the high end side where the consensus was at 37, even though the high end side is a second round pick. And again, it's not due to the talent. Talent is, I bet if everyone hits their ceiling in this draft, if this was a draft and you said everyone that's in this draft hits their ceiling, I bet Caleb Banks is in the top 10 for sure in this draft. That would be an interesting exercise to do if everyone hit their ceiling. How would everyone go off the board? But I think Caleb Banks would be in the top 10. So it's just a very interesting pick. I wish Carson Beck was a Viking. Yeah, it's a very interesting pick for Minnesota. All right. Andy, how is your day going? What are your thoughts on Lee Hunter? Would he be good with the 3-4 defense? Otherwise, who would you take? Yeah, he absolutely can play in a 3-4, can play a little nose, can play a little 3-4 end as well. He is another one that I've gone back and forth on. I watch him sometimes and I'm like, oh, I really like this. And there's other times I watch him like, oh, he's got to be much more fundamentally sound. Want to see him hold up against double teams better. The Eagles have traded up. But yeah, he's one of those ones that I go back and forth with a little bit. Was that an Eagles Cowboys trade? We've got strange bedfellows. Yeah, we got an Eagles Cowboys trade. Eagles go from 23 to 20. Who are the Eagles taking? But yeah, he's a player I like. If he's there at 52, that's a totally fine outcome. And he was the top 30 visit. His athletic testing was terrible. You wish it was a little bit better. Not terrible. It was bad. It was average-ish. So you just wish it was a little bit better. 1.1K. Let's go. Thank you, everyone. Guy I know in the league said that TJ Parker was by far the best interview. Clemson kids apparently interviewed unbelievably well. Hasn't helped them much. They're all still on the board. Parker's still out there. Woods is still out there. Avion Terrell is still out there. So good, I guess, that they interviewed well. Sean, thank you for the gift of the Pack a Day membership. Sean, and another 5. Thank you so much for that. Where would Brandon Aubrey go if he was available in the draft? Probably second or third round. Dylan's thanking. DS is thanking. Love seeing people get new memberships. That's awesome. These memberships are sick. Good stuff, Packers fans. And as always, go Pack Go. Love that, Justin. Jake, you're I can't say you're welcome because I didn't gift it to you, but thank you to the people who did. So was Caleb Banks announced as a defensive end? If so, it's because they play a 3-4, right? So he's going to be a 3-4. He's not a nose. We've talked about that where if Green Bay drafted him, he would not fix their nose tackle needs. Yeah, they run a 3-4. So he'll do a 3-4 defensive end in their defense. He might play a little bit of nose too. All right. So here's the trade with the Eagles. It was 20 and a 7th round pick for 23, 114 and 137. So what is that? Like a 4th and a 5th to move up, and they get a 7th in return. It's a pretty sizable cost. Wonder who the Eagles wanted that badly. The offensive linemen are going quick. Is that all right? So who's best available on the board? Mekhi Lemon would be interesting in Philly. McCoy's still out there. Again, I just think it's going to be an issue there. Tiedemann would be interesting in Philly. Omar Cooper. Caden McDonald, if they wanted the nose. I don't think that's probably it. Iheanacho and Lomu if they wanted to get some of the last tackles. Oh, who I would take here if I were the Packers on the clock. All right, I forgot to do that. I'm assuming McCoy is just, his knee's dead, so we can't take McCoy. Otherwise, I would just very clearly take Jermod McCoy. If I'm on the clock, who am I taking? I don't think they would do it. He's my best player on the board. I would take Casey Concepcion. I think he'd be phenomenal in Green Bay's offense. Screw it. We'll figure out the rest later. Green Bay's going to have to figure out nose tackle, corner, and offensive line and everything else with everyone with not having a first round pick anyway. So it's house money, right? So again, Concepcion is my highest on my board. So I could easily just take that. I would either wait. I'm first of all, I take it back. I'm taking this deal with the Eagles first. So I will let you know in 4 picks. But I'm gonna take the deal with the Eagles first. So we give up a 7th and the pick 20, and now we have pick 23, 114, and 137. So let me write this down. We get 23, 114. Eagles take Mekhi Lemon, by the way. They take Lemon at pick 20. So 23, 114, and 137. And we have to give up a 7th. So we'll keep track of that, of what I would do for Green Bay. But I'm taking that Eagles trade first. Pick up what, 114, and see where those picks are. 114 is an early 4th round pick, and 137 is a late. So that's 2 4th round picks. So yeah, I'm taking the 2 4th round picks to move down 3 spots. So if I were Green Bay and had pick 20, that's my first thing. We're moving down. We picked up 2 4th rounders and we only moved down, and there's nobody on the board right now that I'm like super freaking out about. So that's what I'd be doing if I had pick 20. You would, Danny would have taken Mekhi Lemon. That would have been fun. He's a slot guy. You end up sometimes like backing yourself into a corner with just taking slot guys, because that sucks for Dontavian Wicks, by the way, a little bit. Wicks can play outside, but you're just adding more receivers to that room. But yeah. And it's a 27. So we lose next year's 7th rounder in that trade if we had pick 20. Steelers are up at pick 21. Omar Cooper's been mocked here a lot. I don't know if they'll do it or not, but we'll keep an eye on that. But yeah, so if I'm Green Bay, I would have been trading down with that pick and picking up those 2 extra 4th round picks. Thank you, Beast. Appreciate the reminder. No, they're not the same. I'm just saying in general, Wicks is going there hoping to get a lot of targets, and then, probably get, not having a wide receiver room that's as log jammed, and then they go and immediately take a wide receiver in the 1st round. Oh, AJ Brown was already gone. He's by all accounts, he's a Patriot. It seems to be a foregone conclusion, but no matter what, he's not going to be an Eagle. 1,200 in chat. Let's freaking go. Thank you, guys. That is absolutely awesome. Hit that subscribe button. Please, please, please. Shout out to Luiges Pizza again. Oh, no, we just lost 11 people. What are you doing? Shout out to Luiges Pizza for sponsoring today's show as well. I cannot thank them enough for all of their partnership throughout the years. This is how the whole partnership started a few years ago. After the draft, I took a picture of the Luiges Pizza that I was having post-draft and posted it, and they saw it. They're like, hey, do you want to partner? I'm like, hell yeah. Can I get compensation in Luiges Pizzas? And the rest was absolutely history. No, AJ Brown will not be gone before the weekend is over. Philly is in salary cap situation where they need to wait until June 1st. So AJ Brown will not get traded until June 1st. And then by all accounts, again, he's going to go to the Patriots, but we'll see what happens there. But it will not take place until June 1st. Hawks and Raptors both won? Wow. That's crazy. I don't know why the NBA and NHL are having games tonight. Nobody's watching. I'm sure somebody's watching. They have 3 games tonight. That's crazy. So Hawks won. No, Raptors are winning. They haven't won yet. They're only they're up by 2 in the 3rd. Wolves up 10-4 early on the Nuggets. What happened in the NHL? We've got, sorry for spoilers if anyone was recording, Sabres beat the Bruins 3-1. Oh no, they lead it now 2-1. Avalanche Kings play later. Hurricanes are up 2-1 on the Senators. Oh, that was weird. I lost all of my chat comments there for a second. That would not have been good. Ooh, yeah. Rashid's got some work cut out for him. Sorry, buddy. You are officially in a competition, my friend. That is not an ideal situation for him. Although, let me see here. Yeah, because Damian Lewis and Hunt are set at guard, unless they're going to move one of those guys to center. Kwanu is out, and then Moten's not going anywhere at right tackle. I don't think. So I would assume that Freeling and Walker are going to fight for left tackle. Good luck, buddy. I think the Farrington guys are doing their own show, so I don't think we're going to get them in here. I don't know. Both their guards are like legit guards, though. I don't know that they would do that. Sergeant Dan, thank you for all your support, my friend. Appreciate you a ton. No update on the Steelers yet that I have seen, other than they are up at pick 21. Freeling's a freak. He just needs technical work. Don't like the pick, Bob. Lemon was 18th on my board. They get him at 20. He was 13th on Brugler's board, 12 on Daniel Jeremiah's board. He's a good player. He's going to be a pain to play against when we play Philly. I'll say that much. He'll help them. No real issue with that one for Philly. Hey, Aaron Rodgers. You know if you're playing or not. How about you just not continue to drag this thing out for forever like you do every single year? There's no way he can do what he wants, and he's an adult, gets to make his own decisions, but like, you really can't tell the Steelers by April 23rd before the draft whether you're going to play or not. You're going to make them go through free agency and the draft without telling them if you're going to come back. That's wild. That is absolutely wild. He has to know, right? He has to know. Is he pacing back and forth in his living room right now being like, maybe I should play, maybe I shouldn't play, maybe I shouldn't, maybe I shouldn't. There's no way he doesn't know. I like the hire of Jenkins to Milwaukee. I think the organization is in complete chaos, but I think that was a good move by them. Drew, you got some intel? He's going to play. I don't really think that there's any chance that he doesn't, but I don't know why this is so difficult. Take Carson Beck. Or one of the quarterbacks. I don't see that happening. Thoughts on Kendrick Falk? Have a top 10 grade, but I'm a dummy. Andrew, I love you, my friend. Thank you. Andrew, thank you sincerely for all of your draft work. I absolutely loved the videos and posts that you did. We'll get you on Friday for sure. Or Saturday for sure. If you're not doing anything, we'll love to have you on. But yeah, you absolutely crushed it, my friend. Thank you so much. No, definitely not a dummy. He's just, I had him begrudgingly at 26. I actually liked him a little bit less than that. Brugler had him at 15. Daniel Jeremiah had him at 29. The consensus had him at 20. He has every right to become as good as he wants to be. He has all the intangibles, all the tools, everything he needs to be really, really good. If you said he ended up becoming a really good player in this draft, I wouldn't doubt it. I didn't think Auburn did him any favors whatsoever. I hated the way that they utilized him. I think if he would have been out wide more and allowed more freedom to rush the passer, I think he would have probably got a lot more pressures, a lot more productivity, and it would have probably looked a whole hell of a lot better. But yeah, I'm interested to see where he ends up going. I think what system and what team he ends up with is going to be very, very important to his development. But he's a good player, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if we saw him go in the next handful of picks here. Pick is in for Pittsburgh. No tips yet that I've seen. Yeah, Andrew killed it. And obviously getting great guests too. Ian Achor for the Steelers at pick 21. So he has, we knew offensive linemen were going to fly. So now it's just Lomu. Lomu's the only one left. He was the worst of that group, but once Lomu is taken, good luck. Good luck needing an offensive tackle. It's going to be a while. You might not see another one picked until there might not be depending on what people view Tiedemann as. If they view him as a tackle, then we probably see him go in round 2. But it's going to be, or Tiernan, excuse me. He'll probably go round 2. And then we probably don't see another one until like end of round 3. It's going to be a while. So we've got one more in Lomu, and then offensive tackles are pretty much dead to us in this draft. Not us as the Packers fans, just in general. Yeah, I don't have any interest in trading any wide receivers at this point. No chance. No chance in hell. Chargers on the clock. All right, most hated Chicagoan. Who you got? Who do you want? No, you're a big Chargers guy too. Interested to hear who you're hoping for at this point. I know you liked Rutledge a little bit before, I think, if I remember correctly. He'd be a good pick for them. I'm just way higher on Keelan Rutledge too. I get that. I don't think Goot's going to go get Josh Sweat. Be fun. I don't see it happening. Yeah, no. Well, Caleb Banks went, but he's not a nose tackle, to your point. But that's the only defensive tackle who has gone so far. And then, corner is just the one taken, right? Delane was the only one that's gone. So yeah, I don't know that it means a whole heck of a lot at this point, but it's better than them all going. Awesome. Love that, Andrew. We'll see you Saturday for sure. I'll get you the link and I'll keep you posted. Piggyback off of Jake's question is if we possibly traded Watson for a pick, I think you mean. No, I'm not trading Watson. I love Concepcion. I'm not trading Watson to get a younger, less experienced wide receiver. So Chargers are on the clock at 22. Yeah, that's an interesting pick for Pittsburgh. He's a good player. Like, he has the potential to be a really good player. Just so raw. Just started playing football not too long ago. It was like, what, 3-4 years ago? I think it was 4 years ago. Did most hated Chicagoan leave me? Oh, here we go. Dylan or Caden, keep one from the Bears. All right, that's fair. Dylan would be a good pick for them. Yeah, that could potentially work. Yeah, they could probably use the defensive line help too. Good old Mike McCarthy coaching the Steelers. It's still going to be so surreal if Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy are together. This is going to be one of those like very interesting picks in a few years. That is a dude's butt on TV. Congratulations to your butt, dude. He had to know what he was doing, right? The camera's right there and you bend over and your boxers are like, your pants are down. Like, he had to know, right? Bears could take Lineman. That would be a heck of a pick for them. Again, I'm not scared of any safeties going in the division though. I like Tienneman's going to be like legit good, like really good. And I'm almost still more scared of Caleb Banks because Caleb Banks has the ability to really be an impact guy up front. Again, he could suck, but I'm almost more worried about that. I am watching on NFL Network. Again, it doesn't really matter for me what one I'm watching because I'm not really watching and I can't hear anything anyway. But technically, I always will be Team Daniel Jeremiah. I love Daniel Jeremiah, so would always have him on. Eisen's fine. I don't really. Charles Davis is fine. I don't really need Klatt all there, but it's all about Daniel Jeremiah for me if I'm actually watching it. I do get excited like when we're done here and they do the replay of it. Like, I'm actually excited. It's almost like watching it for the first time, even though I know who the picks are going to be. So I can actually like hear the breakdowns and stuff. So I'll have the replays on quite a bit over the next couple days. I know. Iona Chor. That one keeps giving me problems. Haven't been here since the end of the season. Is that green screen or it's the new setup? Holy cow. Yeah, not a green screen. I've done the touching the helmets in the floor. If you want me to touch the helmet, I can touch the helmet. But no, it's all legit, not green screen at all. Plus, we have the lights. Oh, that's the wrong lights. Wrong lights. See, lights on, lights off. So not green screen. All right. So all right, who's 22? Did we get 22? Don't think we've seen 22. So then my Packers pick at 20, if they still have it, would be pick 23. Because we traded 20 for 23, 114, and 137. I'm kind of hoping that pick 23 trades back so I can get more stuff. We're gonna GM the heck out of this thing. Thank you, Joey. Appreciate you. This is true. The background's real. I am fake. I am fake. Yeah, it is Mesidor. All right, it is Mesidor. Sorry, most hated Chicagoan. That's not one that I love. He was obviously really good. He's overaged. His analytic profile is really, really bad. Players at that age do not work out at defensive end. They usually get a bump in college because they're 24-year-olds going against 19 and 20-year-olds. But yeah, that's an interesting one. He was 30 on my board. He was 30 on my board because he legitimately looks good. He was 28th on Brugler's board, 26th on Daniel Jeremiah's, 22nd on the consensus. So consensus had it pretty much right. He goes 22. Per the projections, he has a 20.8% chance of becoming a starter or a Pro Bowler. He has a 16.1% chance of becoming a starter, only a 4.7% chance of becoming a Pro Bowler. By far in the worst of any player that has been selected so far. And it's not even remotely close. The other ones, Jordan Tyson was at 8.7. Ruben Bain was at 5.9. Those were the only other ones that were worse. That also could be true. This Pack-A-Day locker room edition. It is. I had to do it. Once I thought of it, I'm like, everyone's got a bookshelf, right? Or some Packers, like obviously I had the Bart Starr thing going for a while. Everyone's had something. I had to do something different. So Mesidor at 22. So now I'm on the clock at 23 with the Packers pick at 20 after trading down. I would, again, if I have to take here, I'm just going to take Concepcion and hope that, we'll figure out the rest later. I've got 2 additional 4th round picks to play with now, so we can figure out some of those needs later. So I'm just going to go top player on my board. But if I can trade down again, I'm going to trade down. So we'll see if we get any trades at pick 23 here. We'll be all right, Rainbow. Don't lose sleep over it. It's going to be okay. Well, again, I would have rather had Musgrave at that time. Remember, Musgrave was taken in the second. They were figuring out what tight end that they wanted to pair with Musgrave, because Musgrave was the first one taken. So they weren't trying to figure out what tight end to pair with Kraft. They were trying to figure out what tight end to pair with Musgrave. And thank God they took Kraft and not Darnell Washington at that point in time. I think a lot of people, I have to go back and see where I had him. No, I know I'm 99.9% positive I had Kraft over Washington, but yeah, thank God they took Kraft over Washington, because again, remember, they took Musgrave in the second. Of course, Goody's having a Luigi's Pizza. What else would he be having? Is there anything else even to eat? If you want to know, to see the picks, the one that's been tipping the best so far has been Jordan Schultz. Jordan Schultz has been the one that's primarily been on top of it on Twitter. So Mesidor to the Chargers. Cowboys on the clock at 23. They have about 2.5 minutes left on the clock. What do you guys think of the new setup of the draft, meaning like the 8 minutes instead of everything else? It was what, 10? I like the 10 a little bit better, I think. All right. Andy is AI. My money was on a cake. I am half cake too. Half AI, half cake. You want Clore wants it 5 minutes? Nah, give me 10. What else? What else are we going to do the rest of the night? Make this thing last until midnight. Why the hell not? Go back to 15. Let's drag this thing out. Let's make a real night of it. Oh, I think we're past McCoy's injury is really scaring teams watch. He's gone top 12 at worst if he's healthy. I think he might go before Delane if he's healthy. So yeah, I think we're well past that point at this point. I think there's a strong chance that he potentially sneaks into not even sneaks, but just gets to round 2. Yeah, it might be a change for them with the 8-minute timer. Midnight's only 3 hours away. 2 hours and 45 minutes away for me. Cowboys selected Malachi Lawrence. A lot of buzz that he was going to go in the first round. I had Lawrence, number 48 on my board. 36 for Brugler, 40 for Daniel Jeremiah, 48 for the consensus. And I was right there at pick 48 as well. And I think that's a reach, but he has super, super speed. His closing burst is better than any edge rusher in this draft. I want to make sure I'm thinking about that before I say it. But yeah, I think I'm comfortable saying that. Best closing burst of any edge rusher in this draft. He doesn't get to that closing burst very often. He's got to work on his move set. He's got to work at figuring out a better pass rush plan to the quarterback. But when he does, look out because he's going to close very, very fast. This is one of those picks where when your team picks them, you don't like it. Jordan Morgan is an example of that pick. Brian Bulaga, to an extent, was an example of that type of pick, right? There's every so often, you just have to have a draft where you eat your vegetables a little bit. You can't find offensive linemen. There's just not enough good offensive linemen out there. And sometimes in the first round, especially around this point in the draft, if you want to take one, it's like now the next one is going to be Lomu. And then that's that's the last tackle. Everyone else is just only projects as a backup the rest of their careers, right? Like no other offensive tackle after Lomu is going to project as a starter in the NFL. And so just getting one that has the potential to be a good starting tackle, you are eating your vegetables and you're trying to get somebody that can help your team in the long term, because you can't usually find those guys really well in free agency, and it's tough to get them in the draft. And so when you find an offensive tackle that you think has the potential to be a starter, Concepcion goes to the Browns. So there is the pick at pick 24. Casey Concepcion goes to the Cleveland Browns, one of my favorite players in this draft. Hate the landing spot. They don't have a quarterback, so that sucks, but one of my favorite players for sure. I would have taken Concepcion at 23 for the Packers. So if they had picked 20, I would have moved from 20 to 23, and then I would have taken Concepcion, and then still got picks 114 and 137, and we lost next year's 7th in the process. Yeah, wide receivers could start coming off the board a little bit more. Although there's not a ton in this range, right? Lemon's gone now. Concepcion is gone. What is the next one at this point? Our guy from Washington, right? Denzel Boston. So I don't think there is, unless I'm missing somebody, I think we might have a little bit of a stall here. Maybe Boston goes end of round 1. I think he's probably more early round 2. So yeah, I don't think we're going to actually get another run at wide receivers here for a bit. I think the last one is likely to be Boston, again, either late first or early second. Unless I'm forgetting somebody. No, it's Boston. Oh, Omar Cooper. Omar Cooper is out there still too. So Omar Cooper and Denzel Boston are two that could still go at some point here. Interested to see where McCoy goes. I do like that pick for Cleveland. I don't know what they're going to do on offense, to be honest. All right, let's get back to some questions here. Yeah, what cornerback is an interesting one. Just because McCoy is hurt. And so now it's just Colton Hood, Chris Johnson, D'Angelo Pons. Where do those guys come off the board? I think that'll be sort of an interesting storyline here in the next 8 picks to see if we get a couple more of those corners taken. No Long Island iced tea. Just a regular brisk. Be a fun night if I was having a Long Island, though, or especially if it was like this whole thing was just Long Island. We'd be having a lot of fun. No. Zero chance, David, that they jump to the back end of the first round. It would take their second, third, and fourth round picks as like probably the conversation starter. So they would end up with basically the pick 32, which there's just nobody to trade up for. Chris Johnson, Colton Hood, maybe in that conversation, maybe Caden McDonald or Kristen Miller, but I just think it's too much in this particular draft. And then you end up with that player, the one player that you get, and then basically 2 5ths, a 6th, and 2 7ths. You wouldn't pick again until the 5th round. You're just sitting out the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th rounds of the draft. That's a tough ask. And even if you wanted to get in the 4th and get one more decent player, you're giving up both of your 5ths at least in that situation. So you end up with a 1st, a 4th, a 6th, and 2 7ths. That's a tough ask. I would love if the Bears went R. Mason Thomas. I'm not a big fan of R. Mason Thomas. That would be a pretty great dream pick if I were if the Bears they can take TJ Parker too. I'd be thrilled with that. I don't mind, honestly, if they end up taking the edge out of Auburn, the first edge out of Auburn, I guess I should say. That would be totally fine as well. Why is his name escaping me? Keldrick Falk. All of those would be totally fine with me if the Bears wanted to do anything of that like that. They could take Lomu too. I'd be fine with that. There's not too much here. I don't want them to take like Chris Johnson. Thieneman would actually be annoying. Thieneman would be a good pick for them. Again, positional value. I'm not going to lose sleep over a safety, but he'd be a good pick for them. The Deshaun Watson thing, man, just brutal. Not nervous. I don't think there's that much high end upside for their picks, and I don't think there's that much high end downside. I think they're just going to get some pretty decent, solid players. I think that's all it is. I'll be interested, but I'm not like going to lose a ton of sleep over it. Malachi Lawrence, the first pick from the Shrine Bowl that was taken. Not a Shedeur guy, no. Probably should be their starter this year if they're not going to add anyone else. I think it's going to be Watson, though, which is just crazy to me. You want Goody to trade down until they have every pick in the 2027 draft? This is the worst draft class since just a bizarro class. It's not terrible. It's not awful. It's a bizarro draft class. I think that's probably the best way to describe it. It's not exactly what you were, you're hoping for in a draft. I think there's good players. I think you're going to see a lot of players become really good starters from this class, but just it's an interesting collection of players. Concepcion to the Browns. Not too much left here, guys. There's only 8 picks left. Bears, Bills, 49ers, Texans, Chiefs, Dolphins, Patriots, and Seahawks. Yeah, that's not a place where you want to end up right now is in Cleveland. I think it's a great pick for Cleveland. I think he's a great player. I think, again, he was easily the best left on my board. He goes at 24. I had him at 14 on my board. Highest remaining on my board, Thieneman at 20, Rutledge at 21, Cooper at 22, Chris Johnson at 24, Colton Hood at 25, Eldrick Falk at 26, Emmanuel McNeil Warren at 28. Those are the best available right now. Yeah, we are a little less than 30 picks away from the Packers' first pick. So we've almost got like a full round yet still before Green Bay takes it. Not quite, but almost a full round still, I should say. No buzz yet on Chicago. Should get an update here on who the Bears are taking. Yeah, that contract for Watson. I mean, arguably one of the worst things that's contracts that's ever happened in sports, and trade to go along with it. Biggest reach so far? Simpson to the Rams. And I understand it. So I'm not, it's not a crazy thing, but Simpson to the Rams is by far the biggest reach so far. Simpson was 38 on my big board. Nobody else has gone. Mesidor is the only other one that's gone anywhere close to it, and he was at 30. Oh, no, I take that back. Malachi Lawrence was at 48. So either Malachi Lawrence or Simpson, either of those. Actually, it might be Lawrence. So Lawrence got taken at, Bears did take Lineman at 25. It's a very good player. Very good player. Again, safety, it is what it is. Not going to lose sleep over it. But so three very different two very similar and one different selection in the NFC North. Two just crushed doubles, and Blake Miller and Thieneman, just really solid picks. And then Vikings said, screw that. We're rolling. We need snake eyes. We're rolling for snake eyes. If we hit snake eyes, we just got Chris Jones. Anything else might be bust. But they went for it. I respect the hustle, Minnesota Vikings. But I think the Bears and Lions hit two solid doubles in their at bats in this draft. Got to be careful there, Mitch. I think Mitch Thieneman to the Bears, not a defensive tackle to the Bears. I think he's better than Haha. I think he's a lot better than Haha. Actually, I was never a Haha guy, as most of you know. I love Packers. I'm 38 Packers fan since I was 8. Now for the last 7 years, we need a real offensive line. When will we ever get one? Hopefully soon, Tony. I don't think it's a brutal state of affairs, but it's not great. Houston, we have a trade. Houston is on the clock at pick 26. I'm assuming they just went down or up 2 spots from 28 to 26. Nothing super crazy there, but the Texans are now on the clock at pick 26 and not the Buffalo Bills. They got 69 and 167. Oh, actually, it's a lot more complicated than that. 26 and 91. Yeah, there's a multiple picks traded there. It was what? 26 and 91 for 28, 63, and 168 is the deal there. Interesting trade. So let's see who Houston wants at 26. Be interested. Man, all they need is another run stuffing defensive tackle. You can't already pass on them because of Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter. If all of a sudden they get another run stuffer, I don't know what the hell you're supposed to do against that defense. How does the Simpson pick for the Rams compare with taking Love in 2020? Kind of similar situations. A little bit. Love is a better prospect. I'm not saying that in hindsight. Love is a better prospect than Simpson was a better prospect than Simpson was. 2020 was a much better draft than this draft was. So maybe there's a little bit of equal to equal there. Packers traded up a 4th round pick to go get Love. Rams stayed where they were to take Simpson. I think Stafford is probably closer to the way out than what Rodgers was at the time. So there's a little bit of a difference there too. And again, the GM has a little bit more of a runway because he's won a Super Bowl with the Rams where Goody did not with the Packers. So just some few differences there. Would I take Peter Woods at 52 if he fell there? I would certainly consider it. Toronto does win game 3. They needed that. They're down. Toronto's down 2-1 now. All right. I'm nervous. Bears about to have a great secondary. Let's look at our foes to the south. I will say Kobe Bryant and Thieneman are going to be a great duo at safety. That will be a really good combo. Kyler Gordon in the slot is fine. Jalen Johnson at one corner, although he's getting a little bit up there, but Stevenson still at the other one is you can beat that, but they're going to be a lot better. They're going to be a lot better. And we don't have, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson to pick on every other play. So that's a bummer too. But yeah, their secondary is going to be much improved. The good news is they still have no pass rush. And I think their linebackers are a little bit susceptible too. That's what I would say. Until they get a pass rush, I'm not really worried about their defense. Now, if they all of a sudden trade for Max Crosby or something, then things are getting a little worrisome. Would I take X and Evan? Yeah, I'd absolutely take X and Evan. I think X and Evan are both all-pro caliber safeties, and Kobe Bryant's good, but I would take both X and Evan over Kobe Bryant. And as much as I like Lineman, I'm not taking a rookie over either of those guys. So no, if I were to order the four of them, I would say Xavier McKinney, and then Evan Williams, and then Kobe Bryant, and then Thieneman. But it's a pretty insane safety. If you add Detroit with Kirby Joseph, I know that there's the injuries in Detroit, but Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph in Detroit is where I kind of say, like, everyone's got safeties, guys. Like, great, you've got one of the top safeties. Everyone's got good safeties right now, except maybe the Vikings. No, Metellus is fine, but Jay Ward's not that great. They probably need to find a safety in this draft, but still a pretty damn good group of safeties in the division. Hey, there goes Rutledge. There goes my guy. Not that I'm excited that he's gone, but Texans take him at 26. That's a really, really good pick for them. They're going to really be happy with that move. And now we have a trade. The Dolphins are on the clock at 27. 49ers trade out. That I think is also, that's probably going to be a 3-spot swap. So from 27 to 30, Miami goes up to pick 27. I really like that pick, getting Rutledge for the Texans there. Again, I was higher on Rutledge than almost anybody that I've seen. I had him at 21 on my board. He ends up going 26. And Dane Brugler had him at 62. Daniel Jeremiah had him at 47. The consensus had him at 59. Again, I had him at 21, and he goes 26. So taking the win there. 30-90 to the 49ers, 27 and 138 to the Dolphins. Stuart, thanks for watching. I appreciate the shout out on it's not a very becoming picture of me, but I appreciate the shout out on Blue Sky. I like that pick a lot for the Texans. Nice job, Houston. Yeah, he was never getting to 55. Maybe Boston to Miami. They could use the wide receiver. Omar Cooper is still there too, right? Maybe Omar Cooper. We'll see. Yeah, I mean, Rutledge was never going to get to 52. I never thought that was a realistic thing. Even then, I don't know that they take somebody that's probably like a pure guard. I would have loved it. He was one of, again, my favorite guys in this draft. I never really thought it super realistic that he was going to get there at pick 52. Taking the win there, though, that he went this early. I am interested to see who Miami takes here. And it's so crazy to me. We've got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 6 picks left. Man, this thing flew. This thing absolutely flew. What are we at? We're at 3 hours. We're 3 hours in. We'll probably get to what, 3.5-ish, 3 hours and 45 minutes. But yeah, this absolutely went crazy. I like Chris Johnson, probably one of my top players left on the board right now. So Thieneman went, Rutledge went. So I've got Omar Cooper at 22, Chris Johnson at 24, Colton Hood at 25, Falk at 26, McNeil Warren at 28. And then I have Eli Stowers, another person I was really, really high on in this draft, above consensus. I have him at 29, Caden McDonald at 31, and then another one that I planted my flag on. Actually, the next two, Traden Stukes at 32 and D'Angelo Pons at 33. Yeah, it could be Boston. Could be Boston to Miami. That's a weird sentence. Still haven't seen anything for Miami yet, unless somebody else has it. Josh Cameron is on my list for tomorrow to watch. Again, wide receivers were a little bit, it was my last group to watch. Wide receivers and quarterbacks were my last group to watch. And Cameron was one I knew wasn't going to go tonight. So I'll watch him tomorrow for sure. So if you ask me the same question tomorrow, I will have an answer for you. Justice Mosscada, by the way, on Lineman on Twitter, said he's good, but like 20 picks too high for me. Not bad by any means. So Justice wasn't too worried about Lineman going to the Bears for what. And if you don't know, Justice is an Oregon fan. Planting flags and putting down pencils. Damn right. That's why I wanted to get my big board out today before the draft went live. Like that's half the fun. Like, get your big board out, see how you did against consensus, see where players go. Like I feel really good so far. I had, I ended up higher on Ruben Bain. I don't have an issue with that. Again, I think some of maybe the off-field stuff was a little bit of an issue there. Blake Miller, I had at 12, higher than almost anybody. He went pretty early, 17 to Detroit. I had Tyson high the entire time. I had him in my top 10 the entire time, this entire draft period. He ends up going there. And then who's the other one that I was really, Keelan Rutledge, I had at 21. He goes here at pick 26. So yeah, very, very pleased. Oh, Chris Johnson to the Dolphins. That makes sense. That makes total sense. Second corner off the board. He'll be a good pick for them. He'll be a very good pick for them. If you've seen their defensive back room, I don't know if you've seen their defensive back room. Storm Duck was their number one defensive back going into this weekend. I'm going to confirm that now, and maybe they signed somebody. Their group of corners. This is their corners and safeties going into the draft. Daryl Baker Jr., Jason Marshall Jr., Storm Duck. That's a real name. Storm Duck. Lonnie Johnson Jr. and Dante Trader Jr. They've got four juniors. They got four juniors. Daryl Baker Jr., Dante Trader Jr., Lonnie Johnson Jr., Jason Marshall Jr. It's too bad Chris Johnson's not a junior. They could have completed the set. And then Storm Duck. Those are their five corners. Zane Anderson is probably still competing for a legitimate starting spot on their team. It is the single worst secondary by leaps and bounds. Chris Johnson is going to be if you took the Miami Dolphins current secondary and Megatron them, or I guess not Megatron, Megazorded them, or Voltron, I kind of combined the two. Voltron them into one super defensive back. Chris Johnson would be better than the current Miami Dolphins super defensive back. That's where the Miami Dolphins secondary was going into this weekend. So good on them for getting a damn good corner here at pick 27, who, by the way, was never, ever going to make it to pick 52. So at least he gets to Green Bay South, right? We can at least celebrate that Ryan Downard and Jeff Hafley get Chris Johnson. If we can't have him, he might as well go to Green Bay South. Yes, instead of Duck, Duck, Goose, it's Junior, Junior, Duck. That is correct. Let's see. Kristen Miller is now my top hope for Green Bay as first pick. I mean, you're good news that McDonald hasn't gone yet. McDonald will likely be the first, kind of nose tackle off the board. Lee Hunter could go ahead of Kristen Miller too. So you just want to keep those nose tackles off the board right now and give Green Bay some options tomorrow. Even if one of those guys is there, you potentially moving up at that point, that has some real potential too. Thanks for all you do, Andy. The show has been the first thing I watch every morning with my coffee. Brian, that is so cool to hear. Still pinch myself sometimes. Pinch myself is the wrong term, but just crazy to me still. I appreciate that a lot, that this show has meant, so much to so many different people, and that it's something that you guys enjoy. It was, again, just a crazy vision of just having a place to talk Packers every single day. Was hopeful that there would be an appetite for it. There's been more than an appetite for it, and I cannot thank you guys enough for that. Anyone falling that's a surprise? Well, the top player on my board still left is Omar Cooper Jr. I'm not super stunned by that. I liked Cooper, but wasn't my favorite type of wide receiver in this draft. But he's falling a little bit. Outside of that, no. There's no crazy player at this point in time that's still out there. Again, if my lowest grade or highest, I guess, player remaining, my best player remaining was at 22 on my board, and we're at pick 28. Nothing too crazy. Thank you, Beast. Appreciate you too, my friend. Yeah, so Chris Johnson to the Dolphins. The dream that never really had a chance to live is dead. Was never a real dream anyway. Still rather have Akis or Young at 52. Definitely within the realm of possibility. Patriots trading up to pick 28. They were at 31. So a lot of like moves, like 3 picks up. A lot of moves like 3 picks up. Andy, do you know anyone at Green Bay would enjoy a trade up? Because this is a snooze fest. I think it's been an entertaining draft so far. I don't know. It could be like the 7th round of like a completely, whatever draft, and I would still be enjoying the hell out of it. So I'm probably not the right one to ask. There's been a decent amount of trades, nothing like crazy. A lot of like just, moving back 2 or 3 spots, 1 spot in that one case. So nothing too crazy. I wonder if the Glazer thing was Simpson. I bet the Glazer thing was Simpson. I don't know that for sure, but I have a feeling that might have been it. Oh, there was a Dolphins cheesehead in the crowd. That's awesome. Johnson was your favorite corner. Delane was, and McCoy, if McCoy was healthy, we're both not well ahead, but definitely ahead of Chris Johnson. But I think Chris Johnson was my third. Chris Johnson was at 24. Yeah, I had Hood at 25. So I'd Hood 1 spot behind Johnson. So 28 for 31 and 125. Nothing about what the selection actually is at this point. Packers South. Yep. Again, we were never going to get him in Green Bay, so might as well go to Packers South. At least he's not a Bear. Yeah, Buffalo is picking up quite a bit of picks. Could see a corner run. It's possible. Oh, they got Lomu. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, that makes sense because Morgan Moses is still their right tackle. And then Campbell struggled pretty mightily at the end of last year. And they, at some point, if Campbell continues to struggle, they might have to kick him inside to guard. So that makes some sense. And again, when you have Drake May, the best thing you can do is just get players to protect that player. So if it is Lomu, I think that makes all the sense in the world. And there ends the offensive tackle draft for 2026. There will be others taken, but that pretty much solidifies it. Lomu, not a huge fan of. He's fine. Again, I understand why you take him here. This is similar to like a Jordan Morgan type pick. You pay a tax because, again, offensive linemen are so tough to find. And it's not crazy. I have Lomu as my 35th player on my board, so it's only 7 picks ahead. Nothing crazy. But even that, like, I had the tax kind of considered in when I put Lomu at 35. So it's fine. Nothing crazy, though. Andy, you have kept me sane while working lately, listening to you when I can during my day. That's awesome, Kat. Thank you so much. Hopefully, you don't need me to keep you sane moving forward. Hopefully work can go better for you, but I got you covered if you need anything. Yeah, DDS is like third round guy. I don't think he goes round 2. Maybe, but no, he'll probably be a third round guy. DDS, by the way, I have him at 74th on my board. Brugler has him at 60. Daniel Jeremiah has him at 107. And Consensus has him at 72. So I am somewhere in the middle there. The average of Consensus, DJ, and Brugler is 79, or I guess 79.6, so kind of 80. Peter Woods is the pick to KC. That's right there with Banks. Very high risk reward. He'll be a very fun player inside with Chris Jones, though. Those two could work really, really well together. You got Karlaftis at one edge. I don't think you have much at the other, do you? Maybe I'm misremembering somebody, but Gelati, Nduze, Uzama. Yeah, not much at that other edge, but Jones, Karlaftis, and Peter Woods will be a pretty good trio to rush the passer together. Hey, Charlie, thank you so much. Thanks for being here. Appreciate the 1,231. Can we get 3 more so we get 1, 2, 3, 4? Can we get, there it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go. Right on cue. Now we just need 31 more to get to 1,265. That'd be the perfect way to end the night. If 31 of you get here, we need to close down shop so we can stop right at 1,265. Don't leave. Nobody leave. We got to get to 1,265. Anyone left to look at tomorrow for potential trade up? Colton Hood, Caden McDonald, Kristen Miller. Those would probably be your 3 right now that you'd be looking at for potential trade up opportunities. Peter Woods, number 43 on my board, by the way. He is one that was like, maybe he might have fluctuated up and down my board the most. Like I think I've had him anywhere from like the 20s to the 50s and back and forth. Really pure talent, insane. And there's no like red flag with Peter Woods, right? The only red flag is productivity. He didn't do anything last year. He did absolutely nothing. One of the most talented players who is expected to be a top 10 pick going into the draft had 14 pressures and has 6 sacks in his career. What? It makes no sense. Watch him. You watch him play and you try telling anybody that dude would only get 14 pressures in a college season. Like the over under would have, like, just watching him would have probably been at like 40, and he somehow like underachieved to the point of 14. But he's so damn talented. So damn talented. So if you get the most out of him, everyone's going to be kicking themselves that they did not take Peter Woods. But it is so hard to get excited about a player that had all that talent at Clemson and got 14 pressures out of it last year. 14. And it's not like he was the only one they could key in on, right? They've got another player that should come off the board in like the next 10, 15 picks or so that was also there in TJ Parker. So just a very weird season for him. That Jets trade up to 30. They can't do Carson back, can they? They can't do it. It can't be a quarterback, right? 33 and 179 for 30. It just cost a 5th round pick. That's absolutely nothing. Yeah, that's like a late 5th too. Like they gave that pick away. 179 is the very end of the 5th round. The 49ers are literally just like, take it. We don't even want it. We'll move down 3 spots and take an absolute nothing burger pick at 179 for doing so. Maybe San Fran didn't want the, like, I don't know. I guess you're not guaranteed to get the 5th year. You can choose if you want the 5th year option or not. So I don't know. They just gave that pick away. I have Terrell, by the way. I have AJ Terrell. We'll see if I get this one right or if I'm going to have egg on my face. I have him 51 on my big board. He's 27 on Bruglers, 38 on DJs, and 21st on the consensus. I have him at 51. We'll see if I end up right on that one or if I have egg on my face for that one. I don't know why San Fran did that for a 5th. I guess they just have like 3 guys all graded the same and they don't really care and they'll just take the 5th. But they get nothing in that trade, which is crazy. All right, so 29 we know. And then again, the Jets are on the clock at pick 30. Do not know what's there at pick 30 yet. I haven't seen anything. I don't really like either Beck or Nussmeier. I think I have Beck maybe rated a little bit higher. I'd have to look. I have neither of them in the top 100. I know that much. So that's kind of all you need to know. I think I have Beck higher. I can't find either of them right now, but I'm pretty sure I had Beck higher. But again, neither in the top 100. And it's not much of a difference either way. Omar Cooper to the Jets. Omar Cooper to the Jets at pick 29. He was one that slipped a little, or sorry, pick 30. Chiefs took Woods at 29. Jets got Cooper at 30. So Cooper on my board was 22. He goes 30. So a new highest player on my board is Colton Hood at pick 25. And then, or at number 25 on my board, Keldrick Falk at 26. Buffalo on the clock. I can't believe we only have 2 picks left. I'm going to cry. I do oven for Luiges Pizza. I do have a pizza oven as well that I use from time to time, which you got to love the pizza oven. Would love to see the technology view of the setup. It's not anything special. See if I can do this. I don't know if this will work or not. That's what it looks like. So 2 big lights up top here, here, lights up top, monitor, and then, yeah. The big thing is the brisk iced tea. That's the main thing you want to see. Right around there. So yeah, nothing too crazy. TV up there. Nothing too crazy. McCoy. Oh, sorry. You're right. I do have McCoy higher. You're right. Sorry. McCoy's at 16, but I almost am like not counting McCoy. I didn't know what to do with McCoy. Like McCoy would have been in my top 10 if he was healthy. And like, we can pretend to be draft experts all we want. We can't be, we don't have a medical team to check these guys. So I can't really do anything with that, if you know what I mean, right? Like he's either on the board or he's not. And I would take him as soon as my doctors say I can take him at this point. If my doctors say, yeah, he's great. I mean, he's off the board 20 picks ago. So I have him at 16, but he's better than 16. He's top 10. If he's healthy, he's clearly not healthy. There's clearly concerns about the knee. So I don't have a medical team that diagnosed him to tell me where he should be on the board. That's all it is at this point. So yes, I do have him at 16. I didn't know what to do with him just because I knew he was going to go later. He would have gone higher if he was healthy. Yeah, who knows? Yeah, sure. I'll take McCoy at 52. Again, Green Bay's has never been the team to stop a fall like that. But yeah, if they wanted to do it, I wouldn't hate it. You can get like 4 years out of him, 3-4 years. I'll take 3-4 years out of McCoy for pick 52. You get the best corner in the draft for 4 years. And then if his knee explodes, all right, so be it. Your window's like the next 3-4 years anyway. Go for it. Are you asking who's behind me? Charles Woodson's behind me. Been a while since I caught a live. How is round 2 looking for you overall, or does Green Bay need to make a move? Not many noses going yet. Yeah, again, in this draft, I still think for the most part, you're probably best just staying put, or again, if you can move back a little bit here, there, you're probably better. But, players that they could consider moving up for, Colton Hood, Kristen Miller, Caden McDonald, those would probably be your kind of big 3, your trio right now. And then, if you can kind of wait until 2 of those guys are off the board if you wanted. And then once there's only one left, see if you can get up and see if you can get one of those guys. That's kind of how I would probably handle it right now. But yeah, Titans are now on the clock. Bills have traded back again. Titans are on the clock at pick 31. And they were at pick 35. So they go from 35 to 31. Can't believe there's only 2 picks left. So it started at 7, done at 10. Pretty much about a 3-hour draft. No, Titans can't want Boston. They already picked a receiver. They can't take 2 wide receivers. Corners, defensive tackles, probably early, potentially in round 2. I guess there's not a run on corners. Maybe McCoy goes and Colton Hood. I don't know. Pons too. So I guess maybe corner, defensive tackle, linebacker. Linebacker should get a pretty good rush in round 2. There's some good linebackers that are there in round 2. So Jets got David Bailey, Kenyon Sadiq, and Omar Cooper. That's a pretty good group of players for them to get. That'll help them. I haven't seen Seattle trading yet. It looks like they're still on the board. I haven't seen anything come through. So Titans on the clock. Seattle's at 32. And then that's it. 31, it says Keldrick Falk, but it said the Bills. So I'm assuming he meant the Titans. But it looks like Keldrick Falk went 31, but the tip was to the Bills. So I think you just typed it wrong, though. But Andrew Mertzeg, if you're still here, your guy got taken. Falk to the Titans. He was number 26 on my board. So right around the spot. He was 15 on Brugler's, 29th on Daniel Jeremiah's, and 20th on the consensus for Keldrick Falk. And then there was one pick left before we go quietly into the night. Tomorrow, by the way, to the 1,200 amazing people of you who are in chat with me, thank you so much again. 3 p.m. happy hour, 3 p.m. Central Time. Probably go for about an hour and a half again. And then I'll take about an hour and a half break. And then come back at 5:30 p.m. Central Time tomorrow for full round 2. And I'll probably full round 2. I probably need to get off pretty much right after it's done because I need to record that immediate reaction video. It'll be a little bit late for the second round pick, but should still be pretty fresh for the third round pick. And then, of course, we'll break it all down the following day as well. And then, of course, I'll be here for Saturday. I'm going to be a little bit late, about 12 p.m. Central Time. Draft starts at 11. So about an hour after the draft starts, I will be live. My son has a soccer game. I'm going to go to that, watch his soccer game, and then come home and hop right on as soon as I get home. Then Sunday, I will do a live Q&A as well, like a post-draft Q&A, like a recap of everything. Nazarilla, don't even. Quit messing with me. Appreciate you, Joey. Thanks for joining today. Get those likes in, everyone. I don't really care about the likes. Just get the subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button. That helps a ton. I mean, you can like it too. That's great. We'll take the likes, but if you're going to click something, click that subscribe button. Thank you again to Luigi's and PrizePicks for sponsoring today's show. Andrew, you booing because he was never going to get there to 52. I guess you could still be mad that your guy's gone, but I don't think there was ever any chance he was going to get to Green Bay. Oh, okay. So don't click it if it would unsubscribe you. All right. Don't do that, Kevin of Football. All right. Who do we got for the Mr. Irrelevant of round 1? Mr. Relevant. That's what it should be. Pick 32 should be Mr. Relevant. You're welcome, Jeremy. Thanks for being here. Yeah, I think this is, done pretty well for Green Bay. I think this is done pretty well for Green Bay. Yeah, tomorrow's going to be a lot of fun. Should be some fun players on the clock that we can kind of count down with, see where they go, see what happens kind of from there. But I think it should be a pretty fun night. Appreciate you, Rocco. Do we get pick 32 yet? They did, so Seattle did pick. They did not trade out. A lot of buzz was maybe Jadarian Price. I don't think they're going to take Price, but there was some buzz of that. He'd be a good pick, but I don't think they're going to do it. We'll see. Thank you again, Rocco. Tomorrow starts 3 p.m. Central happy hour. 5:30 p.m. is when my show starts. 6 p.m. Central is when the draft starts. Brian, thank you for the 5 gifts. You are awesome, my friend. Love the gifts. Huge fan of the gifts. It's a great way to donate to the show and have people get hooked up as well. Great way to do it. So Bills traded down 3 times tonight. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, today was definitely fun. Nash, you're more than welcome. Thanks for being here. Connie, thanks for being here. Trade up to 40. I'd have to look. Oh, it is Jadarian Price. Look at that. Seahawks did take Price. That was like my one like 52 pick mock draft. I should go look at that, my 52 mock draft, to see how many I got right, if I got any right. That was a few weeks ago, right? Oh, here we go. Mock draft 52. Raiders to Mendoza. Yes. Jets Arvell Reese. No. Cowboys trade for David Bailey. No. Titans Jeremiah Love. No. Giants Sonny Styles. No. Ruben Bain. No. Tate. No. Delane. No. Mauiana. No. Ione. No. 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 Oh, nope. Almost one. No. 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 So I think I got one right. I think I got the first pick right. No, I got two. I got pick 1 and 32 right. Oh, wait, did the Patriots take Lomu? Patriots took Lomu, right? Patriots took Lomu. They moved up, but I'm still counting that one. The Dolphins take Falk? No, the Texans took Falk. Darn it. I got 3 right. 3 right. This was like 3 weeks ago, though. I'll take it. I got pick 1 right, 32 right, and then I had Lomu to the Patriots. So 3 right from my mock draft from however long ago, like 2-3 weeks ago. All right, so that's it. Price is a Seahawk. Fun pick for them. He'll replace Kenneth Walker. And then, yeah, they probably needed a running back there. Still an interesting use of the pick, but makes sense for them. All right, sorry, I thought I read something. I thought I messed something up. Packer, thank you so much. Thank you again, everyone, for the super chats. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for being here. We had over 1,200 people in chat. Shane Coach, thanks, Andy. First time I watched something other than the NFL Network. This is so much better. Shane, that's very, very kind of you. I again appreciate you guys so much for taking some time out of your night to join me. I'll be back tomorrow, 3 p.m. Central Time for happy hour, 5:30 p.m. Central Time for the actual draft itself. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Cannot thank you enough. I'll see you tomorrow. But until next time, and as always, go Pack Go.